first match of the Balkan League circuit starts now. And in the bottom left corner of the screen, we have the green Zerg player from Team Lead 3. Let's hear it up for Zanibus. Whoa, the mice went away. And of course, his opponent in the top right corner with the yellow Protoss probes. He's a teammate of Zanibus in Team Lead 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Whiskey Jack, which we will see as Eyewater in this game. The beautiful Bellum against Elite Wogo, of course, and the game is upon us. Here we see that Whiskey Jack is trying to deny the second hatchery maybe of Zanibus, but no, already it is down. And just scouting is what Whiskey Jack is going to be finding here. Maybe a little bit of annoyance here with the pro, but nothing too special. He just wants to see if, for example, Zanibus made an earlier spawning pool, because this is something that can be scary for Protoss players. Of course, seeing the timing of the spawning pool, now Whiskey Jack knows that he can actually go for a quicker second base, which is basically the standard in the PvZ meta. As you can see, we have second base, and we're going to begin the wall off here. This is all very standard right now, guys, right? So what is interesting is where they're going to go after this, because we usually see Protoss players making a Stargate, several oracles, and then they transition to some ground and pound army, usually Blink Stalkers. But after all of the balance patch updates, I wonder if actually the Protoss players are going to opt for something different. That can be said, of course, for the Zerg players as well. I'm curious to see what type of army composition Zanibus is going to choose for this game. I believe that Roaches are going to be a nice tool for him. We have seen him play with Roaches and Ravagers before. And he has done very well in the past. I believe that Roaches are pretty decent against Protoss overall. So I think that maybe some Roach Ravager Link Bane is what we are going to see from the Zerg player. Of course, this is just an option. He can decide to go on a different path. The first army unit here from the Protoss is already here though. Let's see if he will find some damage with it. Zanibus, he has a nice defensive posture. The links are in place. Queen is in position. So the Adept is just going to basically scout a little bit rather than sacrifice itself for maybe one or two probes. I believe that probably a second Adept will come soon, and when the two Adepts are here, it's way easier for the Protoss player to snipe some drones. But as we see, Whiskey Jack decided to actually keep his second Adept here in the wall to be very safe right now. He's going to start his Oracle. Zanibus, of course, will see that, so he knows that now he must prepare. And we already see the reactions, Spore Crawlers being built. Good reaction here from Zanibus, but is it too late though, because already the Oracle is here. But the positions are in a good place though, so I think that probably Whiskey Jack won't find any damage here. Keep in mind though, Oracles, one of the best worker snipers in the games. They can be very dangerous. Still though, Whiskey Jack is going to wait for at least a second Oracle before attacking. And we see that he's trying to distract the Zerg player. He's sending two Adepts here. And he's saying to Zanibus right now, hey, bring your queens, bring your links, defend this place. And he will try to jump, of course, with the Oracles maybe at the same time on the second base. The links though, they come here, they surround the Adepts, and they're going to take care of them with these actually. So these Adepts didn't do basically anything. And we see that in the production tab of the Zerg, 11 drones have been started. which is actually a big deal. It seems like Tiny Boost is feeling very safe right now. The two oracles come here, they take down 2 probes and 1 queen, which is very nice. They have a lot of energy actually, and they're going to start shelling at the third base. So this is something we see very rarely in the StarCraft 2 matches. Some links here are trying to counterattack, but they were going to fail miserably, I believe. And yes, so they did. And I didn't expect that the Oracle actually have so much energy to actually deny this third base. It's so close to falling down. The queens are coming here to try to heal it up, but I think that Whiskey Jack is going to actually manage to destroy this base. And oh my goodness, 4 health remaining. Just for 4 health, Whiskey Jack couldn't actually come and finish this base off. I think that he should just send these stalkers there and try to finish it straight away. I believe that this is going to be the best play here. But maybe look here, he smiled upon Tiny Boost as he defended that location by a very, very small margin. Behind that, we see that the Protoss is going for the vanilla Blink Stalker upgrade, plus the +1 ground weapons upgrade. And Tiny Boost is countering by developing the Roach Speed, planting some evolution chambers here, and maybe going for a little bit of a Roach army himself. I really like that he already has a 4th base up. Does Whiskey Jack know about this base though? No. He doesn't see it just yet. And we can see that Whiskey Jack here is making a pylon. So this is going to be a proxy gateway, so he can reinforce his aggression without a war prism. And already the stalkers are here. We have 2 oracles flying above them. This is actually a scary army that we're seeing right now. And I don't know if Tiny Boost has enough roaches to actually respond. He has a good number of drones. Still though, the Protoss player is feeling good in that regard as well. He's probably going to opt for a 4th base soon as well, especially given the fact that he denied the 4th base of the Zerg. This is very, very nice. Now here some roaches are trying to deflect, but as you can see the reinforcements are coming. The stasis traps are being put down by the oracles, so Tiny Boost cannot really engage all that much here. He should fight very close to his hatchery. We see that his links are coming there battling, but they just don't seem enough. And I think that with this difference in army supply, we're going to have the GG, and Whiskey Jack is going to start off with a win here. Very nicely played by him. It was a very straightforward game, I should say. I didn't see any moment in the game where Whiskey Jack was threatened. And why did that happen? Maybe the Zerg just left too much of the initiative in the hands of the Protoss player. Usually, if the Zerg player is a little bit lower skill level than the Protoss, then I would recommend maybe making a little bit less drones, for example 40 or 44, and make a big army out of little drones. Try to maybe pressure the Protoss, try to maybe take some economic damage from him, and behind that drone up, because these 11 drones that we saw in the production tab, they were very nice, but there was no time for them to actually gather the resources needed for a big army, and Whiskey Jack was just too fast with his move out. So Tiny Boost should be careful with timing attacks like that. I'm happy that we see though some of our high-ranking players in the tournament. This is very nice. And as I said, I would be happy to see more players from more countries in the next one. Alright, so we couldn't see too much of the ley lines map because it was a very quick one. I'm interested to see which the second map is from the V2, because as I said, we have so many new maps, so many new battlefields here to witness. And I see that actually I'm going to get invited to the lobby very, very soon. Yep. And the map will be Abyssal Reef actually. But this isn't the new Abyssal Reef. Yeah, we are ready. Okay, let's go. Abyssal Reef next map. But no, wait. Is this the right Abyssal Reef though? Can we check? Because I think that this is the old one. As much nostalgic feelings I have for this map, I don't think it's the right one. Oh, it was the right one. Excuse me. My bad. Again, I saw. As I say, this is the first time I'm seeing this map pool as well. Alright, guys, yeah, let's get into the lobby, and if you want, you can start the timer. We're getting ready to go. 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's head on to the depths of the sea to see who will emerge victorious, who will reach the bottom to take a deep breath, and who will sink to the ocean floor. And so, in the bottom right corner, we have the leader here in the series so far. On match point, he is Whiskey Jack, or Eyewater. And in the top left, from Team Litri, will he manage to tie up the series? The Zerg player, this is Sanibus. Abyssal Reef. Man, this map brings so many memories to me. When I started playing StarCraft 2 back in 2017, this was basically one of the first maps I played on, and I really liked it. So, seeing that it found its way again in the map pool is something quite nice and refreshing. And again, Tiny Boost is not going to opt to go for something super aggressive early on. We see that he is developing very standardly so far. Here on Abyssal Reef, as you can see, you can actually block off this ramp with just 2 buildings, which actually presents a very economical way of playing if the Protoss decides to go for that. But he is actually not going to wall off this ramp. He is going to make the wall a little bit further than it. Just because I believe he wants his adepts and ground army to get faster to the other end of the map. Because if you wall off all of this here, you need to go all the way around to actually reach the other side of the map. So I see logic here in Whiskey Jack's approach. Something different though in the beginning of this game. He's chrome boosting a stalker out of the gateway, which is not very standard. Usually when we see stalkers from the gateway, we don't see a Stargate follow-up afterwards. And we are not going to see a Stargate follow-up afterwards, as we already see a sentry here on Whiskey Jack's production tab. And I believe that we're going to find ourselves in a timing push situation. Yes, we see the robotics facility being researched right now, and immortals are going to become available very, very soon. I hope that Sunny Boost can realize that though, because so far he has been in the dark. As you can see, his vision got denied by the stalker of Whiskey Jack. And so far, Sunny Boost has no idea what he's playing against. And we see 8 drones being produced here, no Roach Warren just yet. And he's going to need the Roaches and the Lynx desperately, because as soon as this building finishes, which it will right now, we're going to see an Immortal being Chrome boosted here. And every second then is going to become very, very, very short for the Zerg player if there aren't any defenses here. And we can see, yeah, being completely in the blind, Time Boost doesn't know what he's playing against. He's actually investing resources in the anti-air towers, and there is not a single air unit here from a Whiskey Jack. Of course, this hallucination is going to come here, but this hallucination is not a combat unit. So, yeah, Whiskey Jack is going to scout everything that the Zerg is having, and I think that he's going to be very, very happy, especially seeing the timing of this Roach Warren. 3 sentries here for Whiskey Jack, an Immortal and a Prism, so just one Immortal is what the Protoss thinks that he will need to actually crush the Zerg here. 4 gates being added here as well, so the timing is going to initiate very quickly. Sunny Boost is scouting with his Link. I like that. He's wondering why there are no oracles being present on his side of the map. Is there a proxy? What is happening? Still he is playing in the dark, and it's very, very scary when you play in the dark, because if you don't know what you're defending against, you can make the composition that is just not going to help you in a situation like this. And we already see the move out. Sunny Boost though doesn't see it, and he's not going to see it for a long, long time actually. He is going for a 5th base. This is too greedy, I'm afraid. And ladies and gentlemen, as much as I would like to think that there is a chance here for the Zerg player, I don't believe so, because we already saw in the production tab 14 more drones, and I think that this is going to be a very quick and straightforward 2-0 victory for the Protoss player here. And yep, more late game oriented. Guys, I have no time to introduce the players because MSRM is pulling the drones straight away. I told you that when this player is in the game, something exciting is bound to happen, and I will quickly introduce him. MSRM playing in the top right, M the Great playing in the bottom left. And M the Great right now is thinking, oh, I'm going to play a standard game, I'm going to make my wall. He isn't seeing the drones just yet. Finally he sees them. He's actually pulling away his workers, but maybe he needs to pull, yeah, some of them, not all of them. Some of them should be mining, because right now what is happening, MSRM mining with some drones, and the Great not mining with any probes, just because he's feeling threatened. One probe will fall down, which is an interesting type here. I have no idea what I'm watching, guys. I'm a little bit confused, because probe on drone action is something that we basically never see. I personally see this for the first time, and I have watched thousands of hours of StarCraft 2 games. And yeah, this is something very interesting. We see that the Protoss player is trying to make a gateway, but MSRM is denying him. There is a fight here, drones on probes, and it seems like the drones are winning the fight. 5 probes fell down from here. Aye, this is a crazy, crazy start. Finally, the drones have been repelled, but we see how far behind everything from the Protoss side of the map is. MSRM just now starting his spawning pool. And this is good. Actually, M the Great has a scouting probe here because he sees the timing of the spawning pool. If he didn't know when the links are coming, I believe that maybe the game should have been over. But right now there is a chance. And I think that the biggest chance here will come if actually M the Great decides to build a forge. I don't see why you would build a cybernetics core when you have no gas income whatsoever. We don't see even simulators here. So basically all the Protoss player has right now is minerals and some static defense here. I would like very, very much. Still though, the Zealot will repel the links just for a little bit, but we need the second Zealot as soon as possible. I hope that M the Great starts one when he can, because one Zealot is not going to cut it against all of these links that are coming. We have a second base here being constructed for the Zerg as well. So he's going to get ahead economically very soon. And this just puts the Protoss in a very bad position. The links are here. Only one Zealot not going to help. And this is why I told you that I would have preferred the Forge building here. Because just imagine how well two cannons were going to feel here. Even one cannon was going to be amazing. We have some money for Protoss player, but he isn't starting any army units right now, and he should. Yeah, 2 adepts, that's good, but we have a supply block, which is very bad in a position like that. Still though, M the Great Zealot is doing fairly well against the links. One of them though sneaked inside of the main base of M the Great, and he's going to cause some chaos here, as it would seem. Still though, the Protoss player managed to stabilize, but for how long is my question. Roach Warren about to be started here for the Zerg as well as his third base. So he's feeling super safe right now. I would actually be surprised if I see army units here from MSRM, but surprised I am, as I actually do see them. And maybe he will need them, because 2 adepts are actually going straight to his base. But still though, 9 links probably should be more than enough. We have several queens here as well. But let's see, the first opportunity for M the Great to actually come here and to do some damage. And he snipes 2 creep tumors, which is very nice. This will delay the creep spread of the Zerg by quite a lot, to be fair. And I really like that he didn't finish his shade, that he saved his adepts. I think that this is a good show of some experience here in the StarCraft 2 game by our Teal Protoss player. Still though, MSRM found the adepts and he is going to destroy them. Again, making the map very dark for the Protoss player. Lair about to finish. I really like that MSRM scouted what the Protoss player is going for. He saw that there is a robotics facility on the way. And right now I don't see basically any anti-air here for the Protoss player, which in my opinion probably will make MSRM go for that Spire play. We just need to wait and see after the lair finishes if that would be the case actually for him, or if he's going to just stick on purely a colossal amount of roaches. Even though the Immortals counter the roaches, guys, if they're in dominating numbers, several Immortals aren't going to make the difference for sure. And we see the first one being chrono boosted just now, and already roaches here on the side of MSRM's map. I really need to see this robotics facility pumping immortals like the Protoss life depends on it, because let's be fair, it does. So the more immortals there are, the more immortal he will feel. But he's actually going for a warp prism. Okay, this is a slight mistake. You don't go for a warp prism when you don't have the warp gate upgrade. That's one. This is a big mistake here from the Protoss player to actually forget this upgrade. Another thing, you need immortals right now. You need army to actually stop the Zerg. For sure, at some point, the Zerg will come. Even though he isn't attacking just yet, we are certain that he is building an army. So we need to answer with more units that actually can attack. Supply block again from the Protoss player. And we see the difference in supply is 60 against 129. But of course, guys, keep in mind that there is like a 2k MMR difference here. So this is nothing to nothing to take lightly into consideration. And the Great Dome going with the War Prism with 3 depths on the other side of the map. He really needs to find any damage whatsoever here. He has an observer, which is nice. He can see, of course, what type of army composition the Zerg player is going for. But again, the observer should see the numbers as well, and this should be alarming for the Protoss player. Oh no, who isn't watching his War Prism? It almost got sniped here. And the 3 adepts, they will fall as well. And so far, MSRM has basically neglected everything that the Protoss threw at him. Even the War Prism will fall down. MSRM great with his scouting so far in the game. He sees everything that the Protoss is going for. And finally we see that actually M the Great realized that he forgot the War Prism upgrade. So he will finish it, and we see these gateways are going to become warp gates right now. So his army potential is going to be a little bit bigger. What is this yellow thing here on this map? Is this a mushroom? Man, this is another example of how mushrooms can basically grow anywhere. They can grow on the frost plains, they can grow on your feet. Oh, and some people even eat them. So yeah, very multi-functional, but I don't think that the Protoss army here has the functionality to actually repel this amount of Zerg units. And guys, this is just going to be a GG. Absolutely no way the army of the Protoss can stop that. And here we see an example of the Zerg swarm, which is like a wave washing away everything that it touches. And yeah, this is GG, well played. MSRM takes the victory. In a very weird way though, because if we remember how this game started, guys, we had the drone pool on second 0, and this was something that I have never seen before, an interaction probe against drone. It was interesting to see for sure. So far though, the games are a little bit shorter, according to my liking, you know, so I hope that we have a little bit more competitive series. Still, this is very early on in the bracket, and the further we go, the matches I believe that are going to get more and more competitive. King's Cove is our next map. Again, this will be a first for me to see it. We go from the frozen tundra to the beaches, which I think is a nice transition. So let's see how the warm sands of King's Cove are going to welcome the players. I see that M the Great is ready, and MSRM as well, so we are starting the countdown. Map number 2 from our second series of the day is upon us. Tatyanko, hello, I see you in the chat as well. Hello to everybody that is writing, don't forget to say hi. I'm sure that there are people that I haven't met before here, so yeah, I would be very, very interested to get to know you guys. And yeah, King's Cove is going to show us again a drone pool from NSRM early on in the match. And he's going to basically try the same strategy again. And let's see if he can adapt. He's pulling his probes straight away. He's going to meet the drones head on. And this time he's like, I'm going to fight with everything I got. I'm not going to be scared of you. And we see that the drones are actually turning tail. So good job by the Protoss workers here to come and to defend. In all honesty, I like this start of the game better for M the Great, as he already has the gateway started. You remember last time how much time it took for the Protoss to actually start the gateway. So this is something nice, at least, because he's going to have a combat unit soon. And MSRM, as we see, he doesn't have the spawning pool just yet. He doesn't have a second base just yet. So if the Protoss can manage to get one Zealot out of here and develop standardly from there, I think that he's actually going to be in a pretty good spot. And he's feeling confident enough to actually start the Cybernetics core before starting the Zealot, which says a lot about the mentality of this player. He wants to go to the other side of... he wants to go into the arms race, so to say, and win it there. Will he manage to do so, though? This is a different thing. Again, starting the Cybernetics core without an assimilator, though, it's something that I don't like. Get resources, start the second Nexus, maybe, you know. This building right now doesn't do anything. The simulator is being started right now, okay. And yes, the Cybernetics core unlocks the next tier of Protoss production and progression, but everything from this point forward requires gas. And when you don't have gas, basically right now this building is not doing anything for you. The simulator will be done though, and we see that M the Great is posturing to maybe get his second base up. But he will decide against that, as he is going to start the second simulator and the second gateway maybe. This time the warp gate being researched very, very quickly here. He doesn't want to forget it all of a sudden like before. But not a single combat unit, not a second base here. A lot of gas will be stacked before even the second base is online. So development wise, I really have to give the edge here for MSRM, even though he put almost all of his drones early on in the game. This time though he didn't find any damage whatsoever with them. And the second base is finally going to be thrown here by the Protoss. And I believe that soon MSRM is probably going to go for a third base himself as well. We saw a very methodical way of playing in the previous map from MSRM. He developed a big army. He didn't take any chances, and as soon as he felt confident enough to move out, he did. And the Protoss player had nothing to stop him with. What I really like is the way MSRM is actually scouting. He is non-stop flying over with overwords. He has links here and there to try to spot different things. He will lose an overword, which will put him in a supply block. Still though, MSRM going for the third base. He is developing rapidly. We have another supply block here for the Protoss player, which isn't that pleasant. He's going for adepts right now. He will need them, of course. Not too many of them though, because as soon as the Zerg player starts making roaches, the adepts become kind of obsolete. But against the roaches, immortals are very good, and this time again we have a robotics facility. But he isn't actually going to go for the immortal straight away. He's actually going to go for an observer. I would like the observer play if we already had a third base here for the M the Great and a good defensive posture. Right now though he has basically no technology, a low income, and he's starting Prism and an Observer, 2 units that deal basically 0 damage. And only 2 Warp Gates to help the Warp Prism. The correct play here is to boost Immortals as much as possible, like 4 Immortals, make non-stop like Zealots and Stalkers from here, maybe make a Fortune, Twilight Council, you know, add several more gateways, add a third base, try to defend, maybe with a little bit of shield batteries here and there, and then, just then go for the Prism, because right now MSRM saw the Prism pop out of the robotics facility. He will know that the Prism will come to his side of the map, and we saw in the last game what happened to such a Prism. Well, speaking of MSRM side of the map, everything seems very normal here. A lot of workers harvesting minerals and gas, and more and more roaches being added to the army composition. The War Prism is trying to get some units to the other side, but as I said, it's already being spotted by the Lynx, and the 2 Stalkers aren't enough either way to do enough damage to the Zerg player, whose creep spread is becoming scarier and scarier. M the Great is adding 4 more gateways, which is nice, but I want to see army from him, because he has only 19 army supply right now against the 44 of MSRM. MSRM in a big lead here. Still though, traveling with the Prism like that and clearing overworlds is something that actually the Protoss player is doing nicely. Maybe if he had the Observer here with the War Prism, it would be a nice addition as well, because he could potentially start clearing the creep then. But so far so good basically. Again, we have the Hydra Release Claire being produced here, but I think that MSRM, if he moves out even now, he is going to be in a good position. What he is seeing right now is that there is no third base for the Protoss player. He's going to check this location as well. And seeing no third base for the Protoss player usually means one thing: he's making a huge amount of army, and maybe he will be scary if I meet him head on. And the Protoss is moving out, and even though we see that the MSRM has enough, I like this decision from the Protoss player, because if he just continues to sit behind in his base, he's for sure going to be behind. So he needs to attack and find some damage. Will he? I don't know, but he needs to try at least. And now the battle is upon us. MSRM is closing the distance. He is rushing the Immortal. Good pickup by Micro here though, by the Warp Prism. He saves the Immortal again, but not for too long, as the Hydras closed the distance. They will clear everything from here, and this will be a quick GG. In the right side of the map, we have the Bulgarian representative here from Team Lead 3, Eyewater or Whiskey Jack. And in the left side of the Whispers of Gold battlefield, we have the red Protoss player from Team Heroes. This is Goblin from Croatia. Leon Vrhovec, I believe, is his name. And of course, Whiskey Jack, Karim Hawaif, a good friend of mine. So we have a higher level PvP here right now, guys, and I'm curious what strategies these two are going to go for. I think the scouting here has to be on a very high level, because especially in the Protoss versus Protoss matchup, here the mind games, the bluffing is probably more than in any other match. So you really need to check what your opponent is going for. The variations are so many, because as you know, the cybernetic score building unlocks 3 potential paths for the Protoss player to choose from. Twilight Council, Stargate, Robotics Facility, 3 amazing options, but one counters another, and you really need to see what your opponent is going for, so you can counter it accordingly. Whiskey Jack has to be very careful not to lose his prop here. The same can be said about Goblin though. And higher level Protoss players, you will notice that they keep the probes, the scouting probes, the initial scouting probes, alive for a very long time. And they probably want to keep it here in the near the vicinity to check what type of units come from the gateways. So far though, zero army basically here for Whiskey Jack. And he's starting with a very quick second Nexus. Alrighty, so Whiskey Jack is saying to Goblin right now, brother, I feel confident against you. I will start my second base and I will defend it. Come at me, bro, basically is what Eyewater is saying right now to Goblin. And Goblin is actually responding, he is going for it. And he is building a robotics facility as well, which I think is nice technology to choose, as the Immortals here are going to be very good in the aggressive play. Whiskey Jack though, oh my god, will he lose this sentry? It will be big if he does. And he will. And this is the dangers of starting with a Nexus before an army unit is even available for you. As you can see, 2 sentries fell here for Whiskey Jack, and this is a terrible loss given the fact that it's 200 gas being basically thrown in the trash can without any positive things here happening from it. Whiskey Jack though, he is already getting ahead in the economic gain, but Goblin, he has the Warp Prism, he has several more Stalkers, and he is going to push again. Whiskey Jack though, each second that passes, he is going to have more and more defenses here. He also has a robotics facility, but he is going for an Immortal rather than something else, which will help him a lot against these Stalkers. Behind that though, Goblin is taking up as well. We see a robotics bay being researched here by the Croatian player, so he's actually going to have disruptors pretty soon, very fast. And this could be a problem for Whiskey Jack. He's losing 1 Stalker here, 1 Pylon, so Goblin is finding some damage. He sneaked several Stalkers here, but the Immortal took good care of them. Still though, the disruptors are coming, and I don't know if Whiskey Jack knows about that, because there is basically no way to know about that. Of course you need to scout, and Whiskey Jack is trying desperately to scout right now. A hallucinated warp prism. This is a very nice maneuver. You bring the hallucination here to get the Protoss army away from the Nexus, and maybe then you can rush into the Nexus to attack. I like the idea here from Goblin. Eyewater is going to scout, but still, this fake here with the Warp Prism I liked a lot. I think it's very, very smart. First Disruptor is here though. Goblin decided that he doesn't need the second one. He only needs the one. And right now, the big ball of fire is being shot, but it misses. And now there is a cooldown period, so Whiskey Jack can actually capitalize on that, and he is jumping on top of the Red Protoss army. Let's see the engagement here. Adepts are very good against the Immortals. This is why they are targeting it, but still though, there are so many Stalkers here. And Whiskey Jack defended well. And let's not forget, guys, this Whiskey Jack that he's been mining from his second base for a while now. Oh, but the second Disruptor is here and the sandwich was made. A great moment here by Goblin. I was about to say how low and behind his economy will be right now, but with snipes like this, he isn't going to feel too bad about himself. Still though, this Disruptor shouldn't have been wasted like that. Oh, the other observer, oh my god, is getting very low. Still though, it will manage to survive. Good pick up micro there. Oh my goodness, but this explosion was just tremendous. And oh, and this type of the Warp Prism as well. And this is going to be the GG. I liked the ideas here from Eyewater, but the execution wasn't there. And yeah, even though Goblin misplaced one of his disruptors and it fell basically without doing any damage, we saw that the second one paired up with the one that was there before that, and with a good 1-2 punch combo, we saw all of Eyewater's army disappear. And I would say that this was a pretty dynamic PvP. It kind of reminded me of the olden days PvPs when we saw a lot of 1v1 base plays instead of the macro-esque 3-base approach. So yeah, I'm happy when I see aggressive games like that. I think it was a close kill level, just some of the decisions were better here by Goblin. I really liked his transition to the Disruptor. I basically think that this is what surprised Whiskey Jack the most. I think that he just didn't expect this technology to come so early in the match, and he just wasn't ready for it. So yeah, Immortals, they're good, you can have a lot of them, they're good against Stalkers for example, but against Disruptors they are not the best because they are clunky, they are not so well microable, and we saw what happened. Either way though, this was in the last game. We are now again on Abyssal Reef, where we have Eyewater in the top left and Goblin in the bottom right. This map is a bit bigger though than the last one, so I think that both players are probably going to go for something more standard as an opener. Like for example, maybe going for a 1-gate expand. Or even if it's 2-gate expand, to be a quick expand rather than a slow one. Just because when the rush distance is greater, you know, the armies, they take longer to reach the other side of the map. So maybe going for the macro play here is better. And actually we see that Goblin is probably going to go for a second Nexus, or no, he was just scouting maybe for a potential cannon rush. And he is going to plant that second gateway here, so we'll Whiskey Jack as well. The two probes are going to go scouting the other side of the map, as they should. As you can see, guys, these players, they sent their probe to scout after they planted the second gateway. Basically, in this matchup, this is the scout to make. Of course, if you're feeling very threatened early on, maybe you can send the scouting probe a little bit quicker. But as you can see, when you send it after the second gateway, it reaches just in time before army units are being made, so you can basically see everything from here. And again, we have a Stalker, a Sentry opener from Mr. Goblin, and again we have a 2 Sentries opener for a Whiskey Jack, and again it seems like he's going for the quicker second base. So basically Whiskey Jack is going to do the same strategy as last time. He even used some energy here to try the probe to kill it, which I like. It's better to spend energy to kill something of value, because over time it will replenish either way. In contrast of the previous game though, we see a very quick second base here as well for Goblin, so he isn't going to fall behind in that regard. And again, I think that this is something to do with the map as well, because here Goblin, just when he sees that Whiskey Jack is going for a second base, the best option basically is to go for a second base of your own, because when you don't, and you don't manage to reach the other side of the map to punish the quicker second base, then the economic advantage will become too much for Goblin to handle. And this is why we see the Red Protoss player going for the second base as well. I really like this scout here from Eyewater. He's seeing all of the tech that Goblin is throwing down. And speaking about tech, this will be a Twilight and Robotics facility being placed simultaneously. At the other side of the map, we just have a Twilight Council, but Blink already being chrono boosted here by Eyewater. He will have faster Blink, which might come into play, but Goblin's Blink will probably be started very soon as well. I'm interested to see which type of a grade will he go for, because we already have a Warp Prism here, and there will not be any upgrade whatsoever here, guys, as we see the Dark Shrine in production. So basically Goblin's idea here is to go and to punish the lack of oh my god, Whiskey Jack missed the Dark Shrine. Oh my god, and he missed it again. Oh, this is so unlucky for him. So basically there is nothing to detect invisible units here for Whiskey Jack. Just now he's throwing down his robotics facility when the Dark Shrine is basically halfway done. Already we have a War Prism on the other side of the map, so these Dark Templar, they will be very, very dangerous. They will come very quick, and I just don't see Whiskey Jack being ready for that, guys. I think that the build order that Mr. Goblin chose to go for here is probably the best one. And keep in mind that this decision wasn't pre-made. It came after the first scouting Phoenix of Goblin came and saw just a Twilight Council being produced here. The Prism is here. The first DT is already going to start shelling away at the probes. Observer being chrono boosted here, but let's see how much damage can Goblin find before the Observer comes into play. 10 probes already go down. Still though, Whiskey Jack has more. Even with all of these probes going down, Whiskey Jack has basically the same amount. Oh, alrighty. There is a counter attack. As soon as Whiskey Jack saw that there are DTs coming to his side of the map, he decided to actually counter-attack, but his attack was stopped and a very explosive TVZ. So let's introduce the players. In the top right side of the map, we have the Pink Zerg player, MSRM. In the bottom left side of the map, we have the Elite 3 representative, another Elite 3 representative. This is Brockstar. Okay, let's start the game, because already we have several things going on. When we have MSRM here, he doesn't ever give me enough time to actually get into the game, you know, get my groove going, because he starts with aggression straight away. And maybe Brockstar should go and scout. Huh? My screen froze for a second. Very weird. But it seems that we're on the way again. So Brockstar needs to scout. As we can see, there is no second base here for the Zerg. He's making it at an aggressive proxy location. If I know MSRM, and I believe I do, I think that we're going to see some Ravager plays out of him. Brockstar, he's SCV, he doesn't see the second base. He's going to see a second gas being taken here from MSRM, so Brockstar now knows that there is aggression coming to him. Despite that though, he's starting his second base. He's feeling confident, but I like that he started it on the high ground rather than the low ground, because if he did start it on the low ground, I think that it was going to be doomed. Usually players like Maru, for example, we see them defend openers like that with maybe 2 bunkers here on the top. So far, not a single bunker here from Sugar Bunny or Brockstar. Excuse me, some of these players have several nicknames, and I get accustomed to one, and then they decide to change it. So yeah, sometimes I call them with different nicknames, but I will try to keep calling the Terran player the Brockstar. The first 3 roaches from here are already being started. The queen is here as well. She will push the creep a little bit here towards the Terran. 1 bunker being placed in a good position here. I like that. Maybe I would like to see a second one as well. But very quickly, Brockstar decided to go for the tech lab on the factory, which means that he will actually have tanks available pretty soon. And we know the tanks are pretty good at dealing with rushes like that. MSRM though, he has his spotter overwards, 3 overwards in total. Because we have seen many times Zerg players initiate this strategy and they fail because they lose their spotting overwards. Here the first depot will fall. Of course this is not the end of the world here for the Terran, but the Cyclone, okay, so he will go for a Cyclone instead of a tank. The Cyclone couldn't come earlier here, as it is needed greatly to repel this attack. 1 overword will fall, and now we see in a clear example why MSRM brought 3 overwords here. More queens are coming though. The creep spread is getting very far ahead. There is no way for the Terran player to actually stop it right now. But he actually blocked the second base location of the Zerg player with an engineering bay. So MSRM can't go for a second base on his natural expand just yet. Still though, most of his larvae is here on the proxy location, so I expect that MSRM is probably maybe going to start some workers here, maybe start mining here, we'll see. The Reaper comes. It's not going to do too much against this queen though, and Brockstar needs to protect it. A tank now is here though, and with the tanks getting higher and higher in number, it will become more and more difficult for MSRM to actually advance. And we see a Banshee with cloak, so I think that this is a very smart thing here from the Terran player to go for the cloaked Banshees. Basically nothing out of MSRM's deck right now can actually answer to air, and we all know that Banshees are very good anti-ground units, so even though you have, like, for example, one Banshee, you can just send it and start shelling away at the Ravagers. This will help you for sure. Rockstar is trying desperately to land his second base here, but so far he cannot manage to do that. Ah, these Ravagers though, they went pretty far ahead to kill the tank, and they did actually, losing only one Ravager here, who applied by MSRM, who is going for the Swarmhost follow-up, and here are the nasty looking Swarmhost with their very dangerous locusts, and they're going to land, I think, probably on the tank. I think this is the best target for them. Still though, any damage that these locusts find is good damage, because as you know, they are free, they don't cost any minerals, they don't cost any gas, so basically the more damage you find with them, the better. The thing is though that when the locusts are fired, they have a very long recharge time, and Banshees like that can come and actually snipe them. But MSRM, he's very well positioned with his queens. He brought an overseer here as well, and he managed to take care of the cloak Banshee. This is substantial, I told you. Banshees are the way to go in such a defense, but we see MSRM was prepared for that, and in this way he managed to defeat the Terran player, because this was basically his saving grace here. The Banshees, cloak or no cloak, Banshees were very important here, and to lose them like that wasn't really the perfect play. Maybe in hindsight, what I would have liked for the Terran player to do differently is not to try to push down the ramp so early. Maybe he needed to wait for Banshees to actually come out in pair and then move out. But this maybe would have given enough time for MSRM to actually find a lot of Swarm Hosts in his ranks, and I don't know, maybe this was a lose-lose position for the Terran player. I try to think of ways in which, for example, he could have won, but we are yet to see a successful defense against this rush from MSRM here in this tournament. And I see that actually another new map is going to be played as our next map. So as soon as we have the lobby ready, we are going to go to it. Nice. So 1-0 in favor of MSRM. I really think that this is a game that will go to the third map, but so far in the tournament we have yet to see a third map. 2-0s, 2-0s, 2-0s all around the bracket. We are going to take a look at it after the game, of course. And Amy G. Dalla, how do you read the name of this map? I have absolutely no idea, but I see that everybody is in the lobby, so we are going to go soon to it as well. I see that this is a map located in the debris of space, which is a nice cosmetic to see, and I'm curious how it will look when we transfer ourselves to the battlefield. So, currently leading 1-0 is the Zerg player, MSRM, trailing and looking for to tie up the series. This is the Terran player, Procstar, and we can kind of take a look around the map before the players start their strategies. Just I wanna see it. There are some floating mineral patches here, as you can see. I wonder which planet is the one we're floating above. But yeah, I like this map. Whoa, what are these blockers? Wow. Like some sort of infested area here. Sick. This is the first time I see blockers like that. The design is amazing. I really like our logo as well. I'm gonna select Star Zagora. Make sure to follow us if you aren't already on our social media channels. I believe that you can find links in the about section of the channel. And still, if you write Bellum against Elite on Google, many things will pop out. These blockers though, they're with diminishing health, so basically they die out at some point. This is very interesting mechanic. So basically, early on this side of the map, the center side of the map can't be accessed, but after a certain period of time it will be accessible on its own. Wow. Okay, that's sick. MSRM again with the proxy hatchery strategy. Brockstar is going to scout it straight away. He already knows though, because he sent an SCV to scout on the other side of the map. And MSRM decided that if it ain't broke, don't fix it, so he is actually going to go for the same strategy again. And now, we were theory crafting a little bit with you guys before the game. How could Sugar Bunny actually stop this attack? Well, I hope that he found an answer, because he will need one for sure. Roaches though, they're already here. How many SCVs can they take on? Ooh, one of the roaches actually popped inside, which is a great thing here for MSRM. Oh, quite unlucky to push the roach inside for the Zerg player. This will make it way easier for the roach to actually snipe the SCVs. Oh, I think that we're going to have a very quick game here, guys. We aren't even going to wait for the Ravagers, it seems like. There are no defensive options so far here for the Terran. Finally, some Marines pop out, but the SCVs that need to repair this bunker, they are already gone, at least 18 of them. The bunker fell, and yeah, MSRM just threw out Brockstar with two super aggressive cheese builds. I just see no point of a recovery here for the blue Terran player. Yes, the Cyclone will come out, that's cool and all, but one Cyclone against all of the roaches of MSRM, and basically no micro potential here, no surface area to work. Amazing. Alrighty, so 3, 2, 1, let's go. From Croatia, from Team Heroes, this is Goblin in the top left. And from Bulgaria, from Team Bulgarian StarCraft League, but I don't see his team handle here. Okay, we're going to have a chat after the game with MSRM. Alright, so we aren't going to see, of course, the drone pool here from MSRM. I expect a normal opener from him, and of course, as soon as I say that, we see an assimilator and a spawning pool being planted down before the second base, which shows the intention of being very aggressive here of course, from the point of view of MSRM, who is going to hide this drone. He wants to miss the probe that is probably going to potentially block this second base, and I liked that move, as MSRM actually managed to plant his second base at his natural expand location. And Goblin will, of course, start his second base as well here, and we'll probably go for the Stargate technology. I think this is the best technology in the Protoss versus Zerg matchup. It gives you all the map control you need early on. Of course, it gives you the potential to snipe drones and to scout what your opponent is doing. So yeah, I believe that Goblin is going to go for the Stargate. As we can see, he's actually delaying his Wargate upgrade to plant the Stargate as soon as possible. And so far so good here for our Croatian Protoss player. Here on the side of MSRM though, I was curious what will he do with this early extractor, with this early spawning pool. Is it going to be a link food? What is your idea? And I see with this layer being started, and when I see these two overworlds being hidden here, I think we're going to have a drop inside of the main base of Goblin, ladies and gentlemen. And that is going to be interesting to see if it can actually manage to surprise Goblin. I don't think Goblin is aware just yet. There are two overworlds next to his base. This depth actually finished the shade, and it will take two drones, which is not a bad damage given the fact that MSRM just has 22 at his disposal right now. But MSRM right now isn't thinking about economy, he's thinking only about attacking. And as you can see, there is a big wall here in front of the natural, but there is nothing to defend here in the main. Oh, but one Void Ray is out. Oh my god, the Void Ray will manage to kill the Overworld even before the first links pop out. The second Overworld is down as well, and the rush from MSRM basically was stopped by a single Void Ray. I was wondering where the Oracles are, but I think that Goblin spotted the Overworlds here and very quickly realized that the drop might be coming his way, and we see that he repelled it, of course, very well. Zero damage basically done by MSRM with all of this move, and let's not forget that it took him 3 minutes and something to develop into this attack. So right now MSRM doesn't have basically almost any defenses. He doesn't have a decent anti-air as well. Only 2 queens here against the Void Race. The Void Race shouldn't feel so scared. Of course, when Hydras come though, then it is a different story. But we don't have a third base here for the Zerg, and economically speaking, he's very far behind. He really needs to make more drones, he really needs to make more hatcheries, but we see that he's making army units, as he feels like there will be an attack coming by goblins soon. I don't think that there is an attack coming just yet. I think that Goblin is probably going to go for his third base before that. I think that he is very on top of his scouting, especially with the ever-moving Void Race right now. And in this way, he knows that he can be safe to start this third base. Saying that though, MSRM made a lot of Hydras and he's moving across the map straight away. I think this is a very interesting decision, because let's look at the setting here. We almost have no army on the ground for Goblin, and Hydras are super good against Void Rays. So maybe this is the best timing actually to attack here for MSRM, for MSRM's point of view. And attack he will. Actually, we have a defensive recall here, but a lot of army units by the Protoss player popped out. Some links are coming in here, but the Hydras are the important ones. They need to focus the the Void Rays, which is basically an immortal in the sky. But the Zerg player needs to be very careful not to overextend. As we saw here, he's losing some probes. Drones, of course, as the Oracle actually managed to snipe them. And MSRM lost all of his Hydras here, which means that there is no big damage output unit. And I think that MSRM realized very quickly that we are actually in a GG situation. So Goblin takes the lead here after a very well defended game, because from the early minutes of the game we saw an aggressive maneuver from MSRM. He tried to do the link drop, which looked very scary for a time, but when we saw the Void Raid overpowering the two overworlds before they can even unload the units inside of them, basically this was the beginning of the end for MSRM. I liked his idea to push with the Hydras. He realized, okay, you have Void Rays, you have an Oracle, so maybe you didn't spend too much for ground army, but we saw that that wasn't the case. A lot of adepts, a lot of stalkers, and Goblin was just ahead basically all throughout the game. Abyssal Reef will be our second map. We see it for the third time today. I think that this is going to be one of the maps that the players are going to be picking most in the upcoming 2025 season. It's a very standard macro map, and it complements, for example, players that enjoy late game a little bit more. I believe that this map is going to bring us one of the best games, probably some of the best games throughout the season. Alrighty, we are in the game. Goblin, who is in the bottom right, is leading 1-0 as you know, and is on match point. At the other side, we have the Zerg player from Bulgaria, MSRM, who will try to tie up the series and potentially bring us to the first. Alright, so again, probably all eyes on MSRM, as he is sending a drone to the other side of the map. What does he want to do with that drone though? Does he want to, for example, hatchbog the second base? Or maybe do something different? We see him hiding it here in the corner. I think this is hatchery bog maneuver. But what I think and what the reality is are two completely different things. As we see that MSRM is going to start a proxy hatch right outside of Goblin's point of the field of vision. Goblin, of course, he has a scouting probe here, so he knows that there is something aggressive coming. He sees the gas being collected here from the extractor. So Goblin needs to defend, and he does so by doing a 2-building wall, and he's sending a probe to scout for the proxy hatchery location, and he scouted it already, which is a great information to be collected here by Goblin. And finally we see a forge by a Protoss player for defense, And I really like that, because once the static defense is here, it will become way harder for the Zerg to actually push through here. I wonder what type of aggression MSRM is going to choose to go for from here. Will he make spine crawlers, for example? Yes, I believe that this is exactly the case. We already see 2 more drones being sent here, and the spines already being started. So, yes, while I like the Forge very much, I think that the spines will have more than enough time to actually come online. These links here, they're trying to push through. One Stalker though is going to stop them. A shield battery is going to be very important here. There is no energy on the Nexus though to overcharge it. So this is something that might be a little bit scary for Goblin, but already he's finding damage on the spine crawlers. But you can see the distance that these spine crawlers are shooting from is far greater than the Stalker's range or the cannon's range. Still though, this cannon needs to be focused, needs to be targeted down. One of the spines might fall down, and if it does, this will be a very bad news to MSRM, who is going to destroy the Forge eventually. But I think this Forge did its job. 3 cannons here being already finished is going to help a ton against the Lynx. And what type of maneuver will MSRM choose to go for right now? He's going for a Roach Warren and a second Extractor, so he will try to maybe make some Ravagers here. The big question is, will he have enough time to actually collect the Ravagers? Here, what Goblin is doing is pretty smart in its own way, because he didn't panic and go like, for example, for a robotics facility or something like that. He went for the Stargate, and right now we're going to have a Void Ray, which will help tremendously in this defense, as there are basically no units here to shoot up for MSRM. 2 Queens, one of them though being very low, and maybe it's a little bit unlucky for MSRM that the one with more energy is actually the one with lower health. The Ravagers came here, but already the Void Ray shows its face, and it says to the Zerg, bro, I have shield batteries here, I have big laser, and I just don't see how you are going to defeat my Void Ray here. And we see, yeah, the Spine Crawler is already down. The Ravagers tried to shoot down the cannons, but 3 shield batteries here to heal. Actually 4 is more than enough. Some might even say that it's too much, but yeah, once the Void Ray number gets to a higher point, this is what we're going to see. Yeah, okay, the countdown, the final countdown is starting. Guys, we're going to say goodbye to Time Boost or Almighty in this bracket. Let's see who will continue forward. So far the chances are basically at the corner of Almighty, who is currently leading 1-0. So GL HF and with the green Zerg pieces we have Almighty, with the red Zerg pieces we have Zanibus. Zanibus, who is basically going for a very quick spawning pool, as opposed to his opponent, who seems like will go for the more standard type of play. So, what does this early spawning pool mean? If we look at from the perspective of Zanibus, well, early spawning pools without gas being taken usually means one thing, and that is a more defensive approach. So, for example, Zanibus is maybe afraid of a fast rush coming from Almighty, so he wants to have a early spawning pool to defend. Of course, if the other player is going for a standard opener like Almighty is right now, then this initial group of links can be actually used to go and start shelling away at the second base of your opponent. But again, this is to find some damage, to maybe snipe some drones and stuff like that, and develop standardly behind it. So this is why when we see a spawning pool without an extractor, we don't think, oh, he's going for an all-in from that. 10 Zerglings are on the map, which is nothing to take lightly. They are going to come right now, and what Almighty needs to do is actually he needs to take some of his drones, start as many links as he can, and try to defend, because if he doesn't pull the drones, these links are going to snipe the hatchery and then advantage Zanibus. So yeah, he's doing well of coming here with the drones, and this is like the dance of death here between the drones and the links. Oh, the drones need to be very careful. Oh, the damage here that was done by Zanibus is impressive. Yes, some links are coming here from Almighty as well, but 9 drones already go down. The hatchery is very close of falling down. Oh, actually the queen is going to fall down. I won't mind seeing some more links after this damage here from Zanibus. 9 drones being sniped, queen being sniped. I think that yeah, Zanibus feels ahead and he wants to develop his macro and his drone count and stuff like that. But I think that if he decided to pull the kill trigger, he would have actually managed to get the GG very quickly. Still though, he is miles ahead from his opponent. As you can see, the green Zerg is desperately mining with just 11 drones, which is really not the best number of workers to have, especially when your opponent has double the amount, soon to be more even. So yeah, Zanibus should feel very comfortable right now. Almighty, he is drawing up as well, which he really needs to do, and he's coming here with some links though. Zanibus has a lot of drones, he has a lot of technology and everything, but still these are a lot of links, and if they manage to somehow push through these 2 queens, then it can become difficult for Zanibus. He actually lost 5 drones as well. He lost 3 queens, which means a very low amount of larvae. And yeah, the roaches are here, and yeah, the roaches will clean up these links eventually. But 7 drones fall, and 3 queens fall. This is the damage that Almighty actually needed to get back into the game, and he did, as he is currently leading 22-21 in workers. Still though, technology wise, Zanibus is ahead. He has the roaches, and roaches against links, not the best matchup for the links. Of course, if the links are too many, even the superior roaches will struggle. And we see that Almighty is like, he's smelling blood. He's like a shark in the deep blue water. He is not making a single drone. He's not mining a single gas. He's going a complete all-win mode here. And guys, in all fairness, I like this decision a lot, because we saw that Zanibus actually opted to go for several more drones. And yes, he has 28. But again, I don't know if he has enough army. Stop all of these links. It seems like he actually does. Very well positioned roaches actually. They're few in numbers, but when they're stacked up together like that, it seems like they are in the way of the links. As soon as Zanibus is trying to plant down a 3rd base though, Almighty is here with the links and is denying that. I really like that he's mobile on the map. This is how you are supposed to be when you're playing the Zerg race. Let's not forget that links are the fastest moving unit in the game, so you know, you have to take advantage of that, and Almighty is doing exactly that. He saw, okay, your roaches are positioned in another place, then I'm just going to run around and attack your main base, and so he did, basically. Bus is losing drones here and there, still though he is way ahead in this regard. He's actually starting 5 more drones while being attacked, so Bus is feeling very confident here. And with each run by, the number of the links become smaller and smaller. Still though, Almighty doing some roaches of his own. What he has in advantage of Bus is actually a ready third base. As you can see, the one of Bus just now being started. So even though Almighty is struggling with drone count right now, he will have the opportunity to catch up with the larva that will be available from the third base. But drones are not on the menu for Almighty. He just wants to attack, and crush his opponent with sheer brute force. So far though, the numbers are not in his favor, and his lair is way slower than Bus's. And Bus already is taking advantage of that. As you can see, he is researching the roach speed upgrade. And actually he is doing the roach attack upgrade as well. And after a while, when we get into the roach versus roach battles, if you have an upgrade advantage, guys, keep in mind it's too big of a difference for sure. And having this opportunity to develop faster in that regard than your opponent is something that should bring a smile to Bus's face for sure. At the same time though, Almighty, excuse me, is starting his evolution chambers, 2 at that, so he will try to catch up with the upgrades by researching 2 at the same time. Still though, even though Bus is making the roach upgrades, he is making the roach speed, he's actually making the burrow movement and the burrow upgrades as well. Considering all of these, he's also adding a spire. A spire that I don't see any chance of being scouted any time soon. So this spire will come as a complete surprise for the green Zerg player. He doesn't have a single anti-air solution, and now he is actually going to receive an attack here on the third base, where there is just 1 queen and 1 roach. The queen and the roach fall, but the other roaches come back here. They will try to avenge some of their fallen comrades, but 5 drones though falling down, 6 in total. That's just not good. Not a good news on the green Zerg player. Especially when we see the production tab and we see 8 Mutalisks being produced. I think that Bus has complete control over this game, and I think that we will see why just in a little bit. A lot of Ravagers being started here by Mr. Almighty though. Ravagers will trade well, of course, if their bios connect with Bus's roaches, even though they have the +1 upgrade advantage. Still, Almighty needs to be very careful not to get caught off guard. He has the defender's advantage and 14 roaches actually in the production tab. But they're in production, they're not on the battlefield, they're not fighting, and we see that even without the mutant support, Bus just has a little bit too much here on the front. And I think that a big part of that is actually having this upgrade advantage. The Mutalisks are here, and I think this is going to be the final nail in the coffin. Or is it though? Because we see that all of the ground army of Bus is actually being destroyed, but not a single answer for the Mutalisks. And now, when they destroy the anti-air tower as well, they can actually go and punish these running drones. At the same time, we see Almighty trying to muster an almighty attack here against Sunny Boost, who though he has a little bit too more. He has been mining more for the duration of this game. He says he has 60 workers as opposed to the 49 for Almighty, and we see that with such an economy, it's very easy for Sunny Boost to make army units and to meet Almighty in the middle of the map, to actually destroy the roaches there. And now, yes, some hydras pop off, but the mutas are in a good number. They opened up a lot of space here for the roaches, and Sunny Boost's roaches are not going to waste too much time to actually come here with the mutas. You can see the red Zerg player sending so many units across the map. If we look at the units tab, we can actually see that we have 38 roaches for Sunny Boost against the 9 of Almighty. And even though Almighty won the first map, I think that we are going to go to a map number 3 here, guys. And yeah, this is it, GG. Nice. Well, I'm happy that we saw an answer by Sunny Boost, as this will bring us to a game number 3, a decider game, the first one that we are going to witness live here on the channel. And I'm curious with what strategy did Almighty win with. Maybe, judging by the fact that Sunny Boost opened with quick defensive spawning pool, maybe Almighty won in the first game by executing a very aggressive rush attack that maybe Sunny Boost wasn't ready for. I can of course only guess right now, but judging by some of the decisions that these two were making in the game, I would say that maybe something along those lines happened. Still though, we got our match on the previous map, and now we are going to go to Frostline again to see the snowy terrain once more in action. Almighty needs a min, of course we are going to give it to him. I'm interested to see how many games does he have on the account. 9,925 games for this player. I'm curious to see how many games I have actually. 4,693, okay, okay. And what about Jonka, our admin? Gold League, 1,348 games, oh my goodness, wow. Nice, brother, I like that a lot. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I didn't expect our admin to be such a StarCraft 2 fan. Which is very, very cool. But yeah, Almighty reaching the Master League, this is a big achievement. It's very difficult to actually reach the Master League, let alone the Grandmaster. 3 times achieved, Masters achieved for Almighty, 7 times achieved for Sunny Boost. Alright, ready, the players are ready, we're ready, we have the go, and soon enough we are going to find ourselves in the game. Oh no, we are going to need to rehost this game though, because Almighty is Terran, he needs to choose Zerg. Yeah, we are going to rehost, yeah. The player was like, uh-oh, we need to change. Yes, it will take a couple of seconds, no more. But things like that happen, especially when you enter the lobby or you go up, like Almighty just did. You go up, you get back on the computer, you're not exactly in the flow, the timer is starting, and then all of a sudden you see you're a Terran when you get into the map. Things like that happen even on the pro scene, so it is normal. I'm happy that StarCraft has a quick interface, so we can actually rehost as fast as possible. And we are already on the proper countdown between two Zerg players, Almighty and Cyanibus. Frostline LE, the map, the score 1-1. In the top right side of the game, we have this time playing with the blue drones, Cyanibus, and this time with the red drones we have Mr. Almighty. Sick. Let us take a look at the map while the two players are developing their economies. I want to see the rush distance. Okay, so this is the natural and this is the path forward. We are walking forward, and here is the natural of the opponent. Okay, I would say this map is a big one though, because it seems like there aren't too many bases on it, so not so many mineral patches to mine from, but when it comes to space, this map seems spacious enough to host grand battles in the middle of it. And this time around we see that the two players are actually going to go for the standard openers, and we see a complete mirroring in the production tab. Basically, even their overworld scouting patterns are the same. Maybe for the last and final decider map here, especially in an elimination game, the two players decided to, instead risking with some cheesy openers, to maybe go for something more standard and to rely on their macro to finish their opponents off. Speaking of macro, of course, it's going to be very interesting to see which player for which composition is going to go for. Of course, in the early stages of Zerg vs Zerg, it's one of the most dynamic matches, as we have a Link versus Link phase, and as I already mentioned, Link armies are the fastest armies on the ground, so you can imagine what type of pace the two players are going to be playing at once the link speed is done, of course, because before the link speed, as you can see, the links are very slow, very unimpressive, but once they receive the speed boost, oh my goodness, they become a totally different unit. I see a big lead here by Cyanibus though, with his third base, way ahead of his opponent's one, and I wonder what made Almighty delay his third base for so long. Still though, even if we don't receive the questions right now, he has a quicker Baneling's Nest technology, so now he can actually come here with these links. He can start fighting with Cyanibus links. Now Almighty is showing Cyanibus, hello, come here, I have less links than you. Uh-oh, but I have some Banelings. And now Cyanibus cannot engage. He really needs to be very careful, because one Baneling can basically destroy all of his links. All the Banelings are going in. Oh, good control by Almighty, I have to say. Great micro with the Banelings. But as soon as I say it, of course, and he detonated them in the Queens, which isn't perfect for sure. Still, Cyanibus is making 10 drones. Oh no, Cyanibus, you cannot make 10 drones in this situation, brothers. By contrast, Almighty is making 12 more, 16 more links. And Cyanibus doesn't have any army, guys. We're going to have a 2-1 victory here for Almighty. Just based on the army size, it's they're on different planets right now. A huge mistake by Impulse. I think that he shot himself in the foot a little bit here with these 12 drones. I would recommend to the Zerg players, if you wonder whether or not you should drone up or make army, be safe, play from a little bit from a behind position, but keep on playing, because when you go super greedy for all these drones, this is what happens. 20 fall down, Bailings are in your main base, and this is it. GG. Oh my, close game. So, we're here, map number 1 from this best of 3 series. In the top left corner we have the Terran player Brockstar, in the bottom right corner we have the Zerg player Almighty. Let's see what these two players are going to go for. Again, Terran versus Zerg, very nice matchup. It's a classic humans versus alien bugs. When haven't we fallen for something like that? I myself am a big sucker for sci-fi scenarios like this one, and when I watch the brave Marines battling against the bloodthirsty Zergs, it's always fun. It's always fun for sure. And I really hope that Almighty can step up here, as he is taking on a big favorite in the series, in the face of Brockstar. But I like that he's opening with some confidence. He's going straight for the standard opener, hatchery on the low ground and everything like that. I think that Brockstar is going to go standard as well. I think that we're going to see the barracks, the orbital command and the second command center here on the low ground. If I have to guess what type of army composition Brockstar is going to go for, well, I would probably bet on Bio, as I have seen him pull out a great Bio plays with the Marines and the Marauders. Still though, while I was talking about that, I remembered several cases where I have actually seen Brockstar, the red Terran player in this series, do some pretty sick mech builds as well. So I'm not going to disregard the potential of a mech play here, but I think that the bread and the butter here for Brockstar is actually his bio control. Of course, at the other side of the game, from the Zerg's perspective, we have several opportunities to develop. Like for example, we see some Zerg players opt to go for the Link Bane composition all the way up until the Hive. Then we can see some deviations from there. But sometimes we see, for example, Link Bane Hydra, or even Link Bane Muta. So far I already told you 3 different strategies that the Zerg can go for. Of course, he can always mix some Ravagers and Roaches in the mix. Still though, they are not the best when it comes to dealing with Terran Bio. So far we have no idea what type of composition the Terran player is going to be going for, because he is going with that 1-1-1 development. So he made the barracks, the factory and the starport. Right now we see the big switcheroo here. He moved the barracks away from the reactor and he positioned the factory there. So now he will start pumping out actually some Hellions, and Hellions are great if they manage, for example, to reach the opponent's mineral line, but just 4 slow links actually managed to capture one of the Hellions basically in the perfect position to destroy it. Oh, this was a very cute piece of damage here by Almighty. 3 SCVs going down here as well. Just for 4 links. I think that this is a nice. I think this is a great trade actually for Almighty. And I think the first blood here in this series has been drawn by him actually. Behind that though, Brockstar going for Cloak Banshees. I think this is something very nice to go for. Even if you're not defending against Roaches, Banshees are just a very good unit overall. And you know that when Banshees are paired, uh, they actually one-shot a drone, so they can be a very potent drone sniper as well. Here we see Almighty making a spine crawler. Spine crawlers, I don't like them. I don't like them in situations like that. Maybe he was expecting a very aggressive Helium play, and maybe this is why he decided to be a little bit safer. But Helions are so quick, they're probably going to find the gap in the wall, and they're going to get here, and then this spine crawler that you made basically doesn't do anything. So instead of investing so much money into making a spine, maybe you can just make another queen, you know? Making another queen is always a good idea. We have seen Zerg players going all the way up to like 12, 13, 14, 16 queens against the Terran, so the more the merrier it would seem. And they regain their energy, they can heal, they can spread the creep, they can inject Warva in the hatchery, so overall the investment for a queen is way better than for a spine crawler. But I'm not going to talk too much about that because we already have a lair that has finished and something interesting has happened as Almighty is actually starting the spire. And right now, in this exact moment, if we look at the base of Brockstar, we're actually going to see not so many Marines, not so many units that actually shoot up. So, what Brockstar needs to do now is to actually scout the spire, and he did actually just now with the Banshees, and prepare a big bio cluster to face them. As you know, in a direct fight between Mutalisks and Marines just shred. The Mutalisks, they want to be mobile, they want to be fighting like a rogue, like in a backsteady kind of way. When they're fighting head-on, they usually tend to fall. Here, Brockstar lost one of the Banshees, but that doesn't matter because he already killed 13 probes with it. And now, Almighty is coming here and he will see a very unpleasant thing, and that is a huge amount of bio, a huge amount of barracks, and we already see the macro of Sugar Bunny being displayed here in all of its glory. So much construction here and going on. The SCVs of Sugar Bunny are working tirelessly to bolster up the attacking forces of their commander, which in this case is the Red Terran player Brockstar, and you can just see the streamline here of Terran units ready to hit the fourth base location here. Oh no, no brother, Almighty, don't go for drones. Guys, if you're a Zerg player and if you're going to get attacked soon, please don't make workers, make army units. I'm not going to stop repeating that, and I hope that you remember it. Because right now, with these 12 drones in the production tab, this is what you can do. You can basically sacrifice them, but they are not going to achieve all that much. The Marines are here, they're shooting away. Lings are trying to protect. There are no more Lings though. Queens are falling left and right. The terrain is soaking with the blood of the fallen Zerg units, and yeah, I don't think that Almighty can actually recover from that, in all honesty, because you see a 440 supply for the Terran. He's marching towards the goal, to the finish line, and yeah, I think that soon, yeah, we will get this GG, and so we did. Brockstar is going to take the lead in the series after a very straightforward win on Abyssal Reef. I think that Almighty maybe invested a little bit too much early on into attack that didn't come, and when that initial expected Helion run by attack didn't come, maybe Almighty said to himself, oh, okay, I'm not getting attacked, so maybe I can make more drones. And as soon as he started making the drones, the attack was already at his fourth base, and that was it. This is why you need to be on top of your scouting. You need to to try to cover as much of the map as possible to see where the Terran army is coming from. Also, you can position overlords on different high points that they can actually oversee the Terran's army movement. Because once you see that the Terran is moving out towards you, this is the time to start making a lot of defensive units. And Almighty just was blindsided, and we saw the result. A very dominating win here. Whispers of Gold is going to be our second map, and I really hope that we can see a longer game here. Keep in mind, this is another elimination match, so whoever loses here is getting knocked out. Whiskey Jack and Bellum are playing at the same time the other game. And we are just waiting for confirmation from the players. Once they say they are ready, we are going to commence the countdown. Whispers of Gold. Guys, tell me in the chat, please, because I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the new maps. What do you think about them so far? In my opinion, what I see, at least from these games that I have seen, is that they brought a little bit of a smaller map pool this time. It isn't as big as, like, for example, the map pool we got previously and the one before that as well. Those were like some very big macro maps, like 8-9 bases on one side. Which was actually leading to a lot of late games, to a lot of longer matches and stuff like that. But it seems like in this concurrent map pool, the developers try to speed up the game a little bit and maybe give us a little bit more action. Who knows? This is interesting to see. Either way, it's a new season, a new map pool, and I believe that even the pro players probably don't have the full picture about which map is best for which strategy. But I hope we can find out right here, right now, as we are already in the game, and as we can see, the Terran player is on the left. He is currently leading on match point. Against him, the Zerg player, Almighty, the blue Zerg player, he is on the right side of the map. In the previous series, he showed us character. He showed us that he can win even after losing one map. So let's hope that he brings the same motivation and drive here to this desert-like terrain of a map. This map seems small, but there are like 7 bases from each side. So actually, is it that small? Huh, interesting. Maybe we can judge that a little bit better when the Terran army starts moving across the map to reach the Zerg side of it. And when that happens, we are going to check the time needed for the Marines to actually reach the other side of the map. Something curious happened here though. Almighty opened with a spawning pool instead of the standard hatch gas pool. So what is his idea here? This is something very interesting. His idea is to maybe have a couple of links in the early game to travel around the map and to try to snipe a potential building the second base SCV. But we see that there is no second base. Actually, there are two barracks, and Almighty now will see that, and we will be like, uh-oh, we have two Reapers that are coming towards me. Again, Spinecrawler, no. It's not going to help you. Against the Reapers, it's just not going to help you. Reapers are too good when it comes to mobility. Oh, actually, this is 3 barracks play. Wow, okay, so 3 Reapers will come with each wave. Here Brockstar comes, he sees the Spinecrawler as well. I mean, the Spines are pretty good when it comes to dealing damage to a Reaper. That I cannot deny them, but they're static. They're sitting here, and when the Reapers go to attack from the north, what are we doing then? Especially when we don't have almost any links, for example. Like, and what is going to happen here on the Zerg side of the map? So far we don't see technology, we don't see a lot of workers being created. So I don't know, I don't like the situation for Zerg, you know, guys. And already we have 5 Reapers here, 6 Reapers here, 3 more on the way. Almost no defenses here. 4 links with no speed. They are not going to do anything against all of these Reapers. The Reapers are coming in, the Queens are trying to protect. There are 5 Queens, 4 Queens, excuse me. But still, the Reapers are getting too much. They are too many. And I think that after a certain point, there is a big snowball potential here for on Brockstar. Almighty is patiently waiting for his speed to finish, as the links right now, they cannot deal very well with the Reapers. 3 more Reapers arriving here, one of the Queens will fall. And finally, the links are with their speed. They will try to now do the surround. Brockstar needs to run away from the creep, and so he does. But the Reapers though, they are still alive, and they can stay here on the edge of the creep, and they can start shelling away at Queens, shelling away at the Catchery. The links are trying to close in the distance, but they can't. And again, so many of them die, not a single Reaper dies. Yes, one of them is very low on HP, but you know that Reapers, when they haven't taken damage for a while, they can actually recharge their hit points. So this self-heal, I think, is very nice. 3 more Reapers on the way from Brockstar's barracks. Oh my god, desperately Almighty is trying to chase these Reapers. He's trying to surround them, but the grenade usage of Brockstar is just too good here. We see how he's pushing the links away. You know, these are too many links, but they're getting very low on HP, and the Reapers, they took good care of them. Again, just 4 Queens remaining here to defend. Not enough. This extractor you don't need, brother. You don't need this extractor when you're getting pushed like that. You need links and queens. This is the only thing that you can actually afford right now. So every mineral should go into links and queens. So you can deflect these Reapers and then go to the third and the fourth base very quickly. Because if you don't do so, the Terran is going to get substantially ahead. As you can already see, he's making 3 SPs at the same time. His Reapers, they are not dying. Usually we say that Reapers, the more time passes, the weaker they become. But here in Brockstar's case, it isn't. Alright, so in the top left corner we have the BSL champion from Team Litri, Iwater or Whiskey Jack, and from the in the bottom right corner, the Blue Terran player who is a 2-time Esports Business League champion. This is Brockstar. And we already see some friendly chat from these players. For all of you that don't speak Bulgarian, I can translate. Whiskey Jack or Iwater asked his fellow teammate, isn't this a map from 2018? And Brockstar replied, yes it is, but they returned it in the pool and it's a very cool one. And back to the old days, I think that needs no translation whatsoever. Brockstar though, he knows that his opponent is very tricky, so he went to scout and he scouted the proxy here, and the Protoss is like, get out of here when he got scouted. He didn't want to believe it's true, but it is. And we see that maybe he said forget it to the rush, and he started the second base. So yeah, he even cancelled the gateway here. So yeah, we can already see the mind games here starting to develop early on in the series. Oh, Whiskey Jack is going to lose the propo. No, this will stink. I am expecting another chat from Whiskey Jack, maybe. Alright, maybe not now. A forge? What? What? What is this forge for? Aha, okay. Maybe the Protoss player here is making the forge, so he can make a cannon here in the mineral line, for example, if a Reaper comes, to be safe. Reaper isn't coming though, which is too bad for Iwater. But still, better be safe than sorry, right? And he did that because he realized that his gateway is going to be too far behind, given the fact that he had to cancel it earlier. So he decided to make a cannon just in case. Alright, I see sense in that. 300 minerals early on are a big investment, but hey, if it keeps you in the game, it's worth it, right? Still though, even though Brockstar didn't plant his second base here on the minerals just yet, he already has the second orbital command. This bunker here has to be solved, and this is exactly what is happening. And already we have a starport almost finished. So in regards of who is leading the technology arms race right now, I would say that the Terran player is ahead. But the Protoss player though, he has a very quick second base. When he has such a quick second base, then his economy is going to be in a good state. And when a player has a nice economical boost, we see them spending their money like crazy. And usually the armies get very big. Here this hallucination will scour the skies above the Terran and will see exactly where in the development the Terran is right now. And I think that Whiskey Jack should be feeling a little bit scared, because we see so much production on the other side of the map. Here though, so little. Only one gateway and only one robotics facility. After the first observer though, we are going to see a super quick robotics base. Colossi here are mandatory. Of course you can try to, for example, defend with disruptors, but the disruptors, they recharge their shots very slowly, and you need, like, for example, maybe 5-6 disruptors to be able to continuously push away the Terran army. I don't think that Iwater will have enough time actually to do that, so I think that he needs to go for the Colossi, and I'm very interested what technology he will choose. It's the Colossus. Nice. Well, Now we have to wait and see when the Terran decides to move out. Because if he moves out right now, it's not going to be super easy for the Protoss to defend with just one Colossus, right? But if the Colossi become 2 or for example 3 or even 4, then it becomes almost impossible for the Terran army to break the Protoss defenses based off a straightforward push. For example, if we have such type of defensive mechanism here for the Protoss, the Terran will need to get a little bit more creative. And he's trying to go inside with the Liberator. Eyewater though, he's on top of his game, he saw the Liberator, sent 3 Stalkers to repel it, and so they did. And we saw a scan here from Brockstar, and this is because he wanted to confirm what type of unit will come out of the robotics facility. He saw the Colossus, and straight away we see the Terran moving out. Because when you see one Colossus pop out, you know that the second one is on the way. And I already told you, 2-3 Colossi very scary. 1-2 though, not super scary. So the best moment probably to attack is right now. But again, this map doesn't seem too small. The Terran army got here a little bit slower than, for example, we wanted to. And we have 1 shield battery on top and a Colossi, 2 Colossi right now. Oh, this Terran army here, I'm not sure that has the firepower to take on this defensive position here. Maybe the Terran needs to relocate. Maybe he needs to try and send some units maybe to the natural, maybe send a drop here at the 3rd base, and maybe try to attack from several places at once. And exactly this is the thing that Brockstar is thinking about as well. It would seem, as already we see 3 Medivacs going, I believe maybe towards the main even. And 1 Medivac here, I think, is going to go and try to distract Whiskey Jack or Eyewater. So the 3 Medivac drop can do the optimal amount of damage. Still though, Eyewater sees that. He sees the 3 Medivacs. They cannot offload their units here. The 3 Colossi are already online, and now it becomes very scary for the Terran to fight them. Still though, he has a little bit of an army here, and he's going to push towards the natural, but the army is not enough at all, and it will just get deflected. Very straightforward defense here by Eyewater. Vikings are already being produced here by Brockstar. Vikings are mandatory when you have to fight Colossi. Colossi are so tall that even though they are a ground unit, they can be shot by air units. So Vikings are incredible. I love the positioning of the observers here as well by Eyewater. You see this observer here? This observer has paid its price in dividends so far, because he is not only seeing when the Terran army is moving out, but he's seeing what the Terran army is, and this is a big tell. And when you have all of this information, you can actually start making your own moves on the map. So we already see Eyewater is producing the Warp Prism. He has enough Colossus on the ground, he has the Blink upgrade, he has +1, +2 actually almost being done, and +1 armor on the way. So confidence is building on the side of the Protoss, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime though, the Terran player isn't wasting his time. He already has a 3rd base which is online, and as you can see, his army is pretty big. So we are in a very even situation in the game. I think that right now, basically, both of the players are feeling good about their position. So I think it will come down to who makes the first mistake. Basically, this is going to be the interesting part. For example, if the Protoss loses several Colossi in the middle of the map, that would be considered a blunder. And he needs to be very, on top of the Terran's army movement. There is not a single observer on it right now. But in order for the Protoss to defend here, he needs to protect his expensive units. And so far, one of the Colossus fell just like that, without even trading a single Marine for his life. And these are the Vikings I'm talking about. You know, how many are them? Are there 12? 12 Vikings, as you can see, 2 shot at Colossus. And this is a very scary thing from the Protoss. Right now though, there is a big army. Force fields are being dropped, but we have a ghost here as well. He's throwing EMPs, but they cannot get all of the sentries. The protective shields are being dropped down, but the Marauders and the Marines, they somehow, some way manage to stay alive, and they push up the ramp, but we already have the first disruptor here. He is pushing away the Terran army. It got scared for a little bit, but there is just one observer, a disruptor. Still though, while all of this action is going on there, 3 Vikings have landed, and they have killed 7 probes, and now they are even shooting away at the Nexus. And while all of this is happening, the Terran is like, I killed so many of your expensive technological units, I killed some of your economy. I'm just going to go back and regroup, because now I'm ahead. And ahead he is, 187 supply against 143. Oh, this is a tough position to recover from, especially when you don't have the splash damage needed to actually battle such a high numbers in Terran army. 3 disruptors here, will they be enough? Vikings, when there are no Colossi, become a little bit useless, basically, because there is nothing for them to shoot. Yes, you can always land them on the ground, they can shoot like some minimal damage with their rifles, but it's really nothing that actually scares the Protoss players. But they can do that. They can go and land in the natural. Several zealots are here, they're trying to protect the natural, and they will. Vikings, they aren't super tanky, but the Marauders though, they are, and they are rushing the Protoss towards his ramp. All the disruptors are going to fall. One more remains. Absolutely no splash damage here remaining for Eye Water, and this will be the GG. Whiskey Jack, I believe, isn't very well accustomed to the patch, because they did tweak the disruptor a little bit more. And we see that Whiskey Jack is shocked that his disruptors didn't one-shot a part of the army of the Terran. And we see a friendly chat about the patch notes between the players while they are trying to take each other's heads off here on the map. But this is too big of an army for Brockstar, and he will take the victory on map 1. Interesting game. I think that Brockstar was in control basically from the first second. I think that Whiskey Jack's idea was interesting with the early proxy, but it got scouted so early that he had to change all of his ideas according to that scout. And this is something that is very unpleasant, you know. You get into the game, you are ready to do something cool as a build, you get scouted straight away, and now you need to think on your feet, like, what do I do, how do I adapt, how do I transition from here. Actually, I like the transition by Whiskey Jack. He managed to get up to 3 Colossi, 3 bases, but from there something happened. He couldn't actually take on the Terran army head on, and there was only so much space left on the map for Eye Water to run and micro and stutter step micro his Colossi. So Yeah, that's it. GG. Map number 2 is going to be Abyssal Reef again. Players are ready. Let's see what will happen. So, we are on Abyssal Reef yet again, and in its bottom right side, we have the trailing player looking to tie up the series. This is Iwater against him. On match point, the Terran player from Litri, Brockstar. Alright, so again we are having a little bit of a friendly chat in the beginning of the game. They are again referencing that this is an older map from 2018. But both of them said that it's one of their favorites, and I said that it's one of my favorites as well. So interesting, this concept is very cool, right? Taking code maps that were created for a different version of the game back in the day, and having matches being played on them by Protoss, Zergs and Terrans, which have basically nothing in common with 2018. It's interesting. It's interesting to see old maps, new playstyles. I think that we are going to see a bunch of these in the upcoming season. And maybe even here. Iwater though, he isn't completely disregarding his desire to go for a proxy maybe? Or what is this probe here aiming to do? Alright, so it waited for the Reaper to get out of the base, so he can come here and start sharing away at the SCV that is creating, that is building the second base. And for example, now if we have another unit that is going to come soon, like an adept here, for example, for Iwater, he can go and try to finish off this SCV. Still though, the Reaper being here, that meant that the adept should stay as well. And even though there is some damage here received on that SCV, it will finish constructing the second base very easy. The proxy here is not going to come from the proto side of the map though. I mean, it is on the proto side of the map, but it is being constructed by the Terran, and we see a proxy starport. We see a factory next to a reactor and Hellions. This can be only one strategy, guys. A Hellion drop. Actually, Hellion drops are pretty annoying. If you don't scout them, you can lose the game right then and there if they manage to unload in the blind spot in your base. So far, Iwater is covering a lot of distance with his adepts and his units. He is scouting very well. All of his surroundings are being scouted, but the medevac is almost complete. The Hellions are rushing towards it, and soon we will see if the vision that Iwater has is going to be enough. Phoenix is going to the other side of the map, guys, so It's not even a hallucination. So Whiskey Jack is going to go for several phalanxes. Oh, will he see this drop though? Exactly, this is what I meant. This is a blind spot. Uh, very late did Whiskey Jack see that. Oh my goodness, the Hellions are in the mineral line. Oh my god, 10 probes already go down. 16 probes go down, and it's not even minute 5 yet. Oh my goodness, not a single Hellion has fallen so far. And even if Brockstar loses all of them, it's not going to matter. 17 probes getting destroyed so early on in the match is just... It's a critical hit here by the Terran player. Oh my god, we rarely see that. And I water right now, I believe that his eyes are watering from the tears that he should have after all of these losses, you know. When I'm commanding a Protoss army, I get emotionally attached to my subjects. I know that Protoss are robots, but they're my robots, you know, so I like to take good care of them. You see that maybe Water isn't that protective, so to say. And now, even though there are Phoenixes to actually respond to the Liberator is going to kill 6 probes before going down. So again, the total here is 24 probes being lost by the Protoss, which is a terrible, terrible feeling and a very annoying position to be in. So what is going to happen here? What is the Protoss going to do? He's completed. He has completed the Glaive Adepts upgrade, which is nice. But how many Adepts are there here? Not enough. Yes, the 5 Phoenix, they're getting an SV here and there. But this is not the damage that you need to cripple your opponent. The crippling damage was already done by Brockstar, and when you go for phalanxes like that, what you want to achieve as the Protoss? You want to achieve map control. You want to tuck the Terran into the corner. You want the Terran to respond to you and not to attack you. And behind this, develop your ground army, to develop your Colossi, to develop your Charge Wards, Blinkstalkers and stuff like that. Here though we have only Phoenixes in the sky and absolutely nothing on the ground. Yes, the Glaive Adepts upgrade is finished. It cannot be used though, because of the economic damage that Iwater received early on. Now he wants to stay protected at home. And actually the Phoenixes are doing a decent job at keeping the Terran army in its home. But I don't know for how long this will be. Because as soon as the Marines close the distance with the Phoenixes, this will be all she wrote for them, and yeah, that won't be the best position to lose your Phoenixes like that, because basically they're the only thing that is keeping you in this game right now. 13 Adepts, 7 Phoenixes, but on the other side we have Mines, we have Marines, we have Maroons, we have Tanks and Medivacs. The composition here for the Terran is way better than the Protoss. And yeah, okay, the Protoss now is seeing the move out, but what can he do? He cannot start picking units here from the move out, because the Marines are going to avenge them, and they're going to avenge them ultra quickly. The Adepts are in a good position. There is a shoot battery here. One of them though, I don't know. Alright, so game number 1 of our war bracket final. In the left side of Whispers of Gold, we have the Terran player from Team Litri. This is Brockstar. And against him, we have the Pink Zerg player from Team BSL. This is MSRM. I don't have a guitar crew here, so I have to do the riffs myself. And the production team is kind of not liking my way of singing, but it is what it is. And speaking about things that are liked or not liked, yeah, we have a very different worldview here. As MSRM, he likes going proxy hatchery very much. Rockstar though, if you ask him, going against the proxy hatchery, not good, not good. Maybe even terrible, if you consider the results so far. So, MSRM, you know, I really like that type of mentality. You know, you won 2 times against the same opponent with the same build, right? You're going to play your opponent again for a second time today, and you know, most of the people would probably think, well, he already showed the strategy, well, maybe he will go for something different, and I admit I was one of these people. But no, MSRM is like, no brother, it worked so far, I'm going to try it until it won't. And Brockstar came, saw, but didn't conquer so far. His SCV is searching for the proxy location and he will find it. It is a little bit further away from the main base as one of the earlier pushes. But again, Roach Warren being planted down, and now we have to see the Terran. What are you doing here? You're building a second refinery, which is good, you would need the extra gas income. You're building a factory, but only one bunker. This is the thing probably that is kind of bugging me. Why is there only one bunker? I see that the professional Terran players are using at least 2 or 3 bunkers here. So maybe, just maybe, we can try to implement a strategy like that ourselves. And maybe a second bunker here. No, I'm not a Terran player myself, so I don't understand the mathematics here all too well. And I know that there is a unwritten rule that a streamer should never ever do mathematics live while he is on the camera. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm still going to wonder if one bunker is enough. Indeed. Still though, this time around it seems that the starport is coming ultra quickly, way faster than the other ones. And the Banshees are going to come way sooner because of that. So, with a couple of Banshees in the mix, it becomes very holdable. Very holdable. We remember last time the Queens sniped the Banshee, but there was a lair. There were overseers. Right now there is no lair. Because we don't see that MSRM is thinking about maybe going for the Swarm Host transition. What is he going for then? He's supply blocked, so he needs to make a little bit more overwards, which he is. The Banshee though, the Banshee is coming. And we only have 3 Ravagers here. I think that once the Banshee is out, this rush is basically over. So MSRM is a little bit on a timer, it would seem right now. The lair very slow, and the overseers won't be here in time. So, what is MSRM's plan here? Another thing I'm interested about is why isn't he spending any of his money? Why isn't he investing in more army? For sure there is an idea here. You know, knowing MSRM there is always an idea. But what is it here though? He's doing a spore grower in his main base, because last time they played, one of the Banshees actually went to attack, counter-attack, and killed a lot of probes. But soon he will need something to detect here as well, and maybe he's lucky, because an Overseer can be morphed right now when the lair actually finished. overseer isn't being morphed just yet. Okay, right now he clicked it, but an infestation pit is on the way, guys, and the infestation pit here can be scary. But before that, the scariest part is are the banshees, and one of the queens fell, and this queen had the fullest energy out of them all, which is a bad news for the Zerg player, who is actually going to lose a couple of drones as well here, and he's delaying MSRM's build by quite a lot. Why though did we had such a quicker bunch here? Well, because the second base of Brockstar is just now being started. So he delayed his second base in favor of getting his army units up as quick as possible. And I think this was the right call to make. Oh my goodness, one of the bunches is so low. If you get shot down, one of the queens fall as well, but an overseer and several queens, it seems like, are the perfect counter for a banshee play. Now the locusts are here, they're going to kill the SCV that was building the second command center, which means that Rockstar is only on one base, which means that actually MSRM can start positioning workers a little bit, but so far he's just going to stick with queens. And there is an infestor. The infestor here is a smart addition. For example, if the banshees come now and they start killing the queens, for example, in some way, and the queens cannot catch up to them, well, an infestor is a perfect perfect way to slow them down and to finish them off. So an infestor here, it is an interesting choice, and I don't dislike it. And now he can actually complement the locusts with a fungal, and that happened, and this is wow, this is actually such an interesting play. I really haven't seen it so far. I don't know where MSRM got this idea from, but it's super smart to see it like that. And right now he has tucked the Terran basically in the corner. I mean, the Terran is just on his platform. There is no way for him to go down right now. Okay, yeah, the Terran buildings are flying. The MSRM has all of the perimeter covered. There is more creep spread here around the Terran than around the Zerg main territory. And as soon as that happens, as soon as Roaches and Ravagers start walking on your main base, like they're having a stroll on the beach, these are the moments that the Terrans fear the most. And I don't know what Brockstar is waiting for, but he's going to pull off his fly here. It's not going to be enough, and MSRM will take another convincing victory with his proxy hatchery build. And I wonder if in the next game Brockstar should just blindly counter it, right? I mean, why should you even scout? MSRM is so set in his ways that why should you even scout, right? Just go for the blind proxy hatchery counter, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to have a Terran winning against MSRM's proxy today. Ah, yeah, Clem and Rainer are actually playing right now on Home Story Cup, I see in the chat. On the same map, the same game. Home Story Cup is an amazing tournament. I was actually thinking about going to Germany to see it live, but I just have a lot of things to do, so I couldn't. But I'm sure that they're having a lot of fun there as well. And of course, big shout out to Tech TV. Who streamed our tournament in Stara Zagora on their channel in German language, which was pretty cool. Abyssal Reef again, and would you know that? A drone. going to the other side of the map as well. Well, this is what I was talking about. Maybe just blind counter it, right? Maybe just assume that your opponent is going to go for the proxy and just try to counter it. What a blind counter would look like in my eyes? Well, maybe a second refinery and maybe a straight up one base play. Very nice proxy location here from MSRM, just outside of the vision of the passing by SCV. And again, the SCV sees no second base. He will see the two extractors here now, and he will know that again MSRM is going for something tricky. A bunker being started immediately here by the Terran player, which in all fairness in last game did have a super quick starport, and even then he didn't manage to close the game, to defend the rush. So I wonder what needs to be done, really, what needs to be done here. I believe that more bunkers probably are going to be a good solution here. But so far we don't see too many of them. The first roach is already being in production. They're going to morph into the Ravagers shortly after morphing out of the larva eggs. At the same time, we have a tech wap next to the barracks. Okay, so this is a new approach actually from Rockstar. He did just enough. He made just enough units from the barracks to put some of them here in the bunker, while going for a super fast cyclone. I think the super fast cyclone actually might have sense in it. And there is just one overwork here that I see. We already saw that the MSRM tends to lose them against cyclones. So the first one already being out. This should be a good news for the Terran. Still though, the first walk on, it has been wasted. And now the Ravagers, they're feeling confident enough to go up the ramp, but they're not going to be able to take care of the bunker. I think that maybe the BIOS should have connected more on the SCVs rather than the bunker. I think this is the mistake that MSRM made, and now we see his Ravagers are being demolished. A second cyclone is coming out and MSRM is not in a good position. So apparently the way to go is to just build a cyclone as fast as possible. Yeah, even a second overlord is dead here. That means a supply block, and a big supply block. MSRM will need at least 2 overlords to close this gap. And Brockstar is being very annoying to MSRM right now. He's denying him a base here around his natural position. We see the expand here is being blocked. But MSRM is actually returning his roaches to take care of this engineering bay and to start his second hatchery there. The Banshee, the first Banshee is here, a second one is on the way. But the Banshee doesn't see anything here and he's like, alright, there is nothing for me to attack here, so I'm just going to go on the other side of the map. And this is a nice decision to make, because the Banshee, if it comes to this second base right now, it can actually destroy it. There is basically no anti-air here for MSRM, and there won't be any creep here to plant down, for example, Spore Crow or something like that. And a great transition in my eyes by Brockstar. He is doing his second and third command center simultaneously almost, which is for me something very tricky for the Zerg to deal with. But I believe that this is the smarter way to go about it. MSRM, what did he do? He failed the rush, now he's trying to catch up economically wise, right? Well, let's not allow him to do that by just making more economy ourselves. We have the space to do so. There is absolutely no way that the Zerg can actually go and even protect this base, you know. So, oh, MSRM is super far behind, and I wouldn't even be surprised if I saw a GG out of him here. Yeah, okay, there is a Spore Crawler. Okay, one of the Banshees is very low on health, but one of the Queens fall. No mineral patches here to mine from. 3 Ravagers coming. What are they going to do against a Banshee squad? Basically nothing. We see an upgrade here that we actually rarely get the chance to witness in a game, which is the speed upgrade for the Banshees, and they become substantially faster when this upgrade finishes. I'm going to wait for it to finish just to show you. I hope that Brockstar moves his Banshees. Yeah, okay, maybe now. Okay, the upgrade is completed and you see already how faster they are when they're flying. And that makes them all that more dangerous. Still though, now this hatchery can be a little bit better protected because there is something here that the Spore Crawlers can come down to. But if we Brockstar's Banshees manage to ignite this base again, I think this is the point of no return. Because yes, one of them will fall, but this wasn't even a cancel. This was a snipe. Minus 300 minerals more for the Zerg. And behind that, 3 SVs being constructed at the same time. You see the second mineral line here of the Terran player being absolutely full and lively. All of the workers there, they're feeling confident, they're feeling protected by their commander, and they're giving it their all to work like little cute bees, harvesting these minerals. On the other side, things look gloomy, and it's not because of the black creep, no, it's because the second base of the Zerg is not even finished, and it's minute 9 on the clock, and already we have a lead not only in workers but in army as well for the Terran. I think that the Terran actually is safe to move out and to attack. MSRM though, I was wondering, why isn't MSRM building anything? What is he trying to collect his money for? And at least we have an answer. It's to build a spire, to build some utilisks. So far the spire hasn't been scouted, right? Now it will be though. But so far the spire hasn't been scouted. Okay, this will give us the opportunity to make several utilisks, maybe in a surprising way. Not only that the spire was seen by the Banshees, now Brockstar knows, alrighty brother, you have only Mutalisks. I'm just going to come and attack them, finish you off. Because even if the Mutalisks go to counterattack the mineral lines of the Terran, we already see here a missile turret in the main, a missile turret in the natural, a missile turret here near the third base location, and so many marines. Yeah, I don't think MSRM has any chance here. He's going to get one of the tanks though, which is nice. It's always nice to get a tank. But what are you going to do against all of these marines? The answer is absolutely nothing. And we are going to see a GG here. And Brockstar finally, after 3 attempts on the fourth, he manages to defend the super ultra aggressive cheese rush from MSRM. And this will be a 1-1 GG. Brockstar ties up the series. Nice. Alright, I'm satisfied with this game because Brockstar showed his adaptability and his resilience. I mean, there was a point in this match, in this map, that actually MSRM could have won, and that was very early on. If the three bios that landed on the bunker didn't land on the bunker but landed on the SVs that were repairing it, I think that the game was going to be over right there and then. But maybe a little bit of a misplaced micro by MSRM, and we saw that Brockstar didn't need more to pick up the pace and to overwhelm his opponent in the longer game. So 1-1, and keep in mind that the series before that, it doesn't really matter. This is the series that matters, because if you get to the final, you are guaranteed an 18 points minimum of rank points. So this is something to keep in mind, especially given the fact that if the prize pool is 150 euros, we are going to distribute it between the two players that has accumulated most points. But if it gets to the 300 euro mark, we are going to distribute it to 4 players. So again, you can help us by donating to expand the prize pools yourself. Frostline is our third map. Finally, we're going to see a third map between these two, and in the bottom left side we have Terran player Sugar Bunny or Brockstar. And in the top right side of the map we have the Zerg player MSRM. Who did the extractor trick actually? Who is going again for the proxy? I wonder if Sugar Bunny is just going to blind counter it again, because last game was a blind counter, right? There was no intention for him to go for the second base at all, or at least it didn't seem like it. And it seems like, at least by the positioning of his barracks, he is expecting a proxy yet again. Of course, he is going to confirm that with the scout, and this is a great sign of discipline actually that Sugar Bunny is showing, because guys, every game he played against MSRM so far, it has been the same build by MSRM. Still, instead of just believing that, Brockstar is confirming that. So again, he's scouting, he's seeing, and then he is reacting accordingly. And this is a sign of a great RTS player. Yes, a person can show you the same strategy 12 times, 30 times, 100 times, but if you don't confirm it, it might be that extra time that the other player decided to go for another type of build. And yeah, we can already see barracks being done, a factory being started, and I think that we are going to have the exact same response from Brockstar that we had in the last game. But now the question is, how will MSRM adapt to that? Because he already saw that his opponent can defend. So how do you tweak your attack? How do you change it? How do you mix it up in order for the response of Brockstar to fail? This is interesting to me. So far everything looks exactly the same, and it usually does in the beginning. But for example, on the first map, what did you see? We saw swarm hosts and infestors. On the second map of their first series, what did we see? We saw a big amount of Roach Ravager and nothing else. What type of attack will MSRM do here? The Ravagers being morphed here, right in front of the Terran. Only one Ravager actually so far. He wanted to protect it with his other two Roaches, I believe. One of the overworlds though, super low on HP. The other one will fall, actually, by the Cyclone. And we see just one Cyclone, how dangerous can be against such an opener. And once the second Cyclone is out, it's going to be a very difficult position for the Zerg. Let's keep in mind that so far in the games, Brockstar lost almost all of his first Cyclones. There was never a time that the Cyclones of Brockstar were 2 at a time. Now they are. And we already see the 3 overworlds that were spotting here for MSRM are gone. No more high ground vision here. The lair, it's coming, but a perfect scout out of Sugar Bunny or Brockstar to confirm the timing of the lair. And now he knows, okay, I'm just going to make a little bit more Cyclones. A Banshee is here, a Cloak is here. A fourth Cyclone on the way. Will Sugar Bunny actually feel courageous enough to push the third player here in the middle of his creep? And the Cyclones come and they manage to snipe 2 units straight away. And now they will come back home. The SVs are going to repair them. And they're going to return again on the battlefield. I love this. I love this response here by Brockstar. He just adapted. That's it. He's saying to MSRM right now, Brar, you have absolutely no chance to win against me 5 times in a row with the same strategy. And yeah, I think MSRM should be a little bit scared here. You know, too close the Cyclones are towards his proxy hatchery. Oh my god, all the Cyclones though, it will fall down. Oh my god, but the Ravagers, they're so low on HP. And they will have to run away. They will have to run away. Or they can go down though. Can they snipe another Cyclone? No. And now we have a substantial army supply lead here for Brockstar. His technology is better, yes. MSRM has a Spire. Absolutely no money or economy or infrastructure to do anything with this layer. Not even a Spire or something like that. Like for example, like we tried last game. And what MSRM is going to rely on are a bunch of links. Bunch of links sounds cool, but not when you have a Banshee in the sky. Actually 3 Banshees. 3 Banshees are great against all of these links. They're going to see them even. So now Brockstar knows, okay, you're sending links here. I need to kill them all. And if I manage to do that without losing too many of my Cyclones and stuff like that, I won't be surprised if MSRM even gave him the GG right there and then. Guys, how can I donate through Revolut? First of all, Gertrude, thank you so much for the desire to donate. Through Revolut. Well, we have a Revolut link, right? I'm going to show it after the game. And I have never donated through Revolut. I don't know actually the mechanic of it. But Streamlabs is the classical PayPal way. So you can try that as well. Still though, Revolut, I will check and see. But I think that, maybe you should, I see, I know how it is. You should type in our link in the in your browser, and it should bring you to a page where you can actually do that. So I think that this is the way to go. And this is the way to go for the Terran as well. This was the biggest force that actually MSRM can muster here. It's not enough. 2 bunkers on the low ground, a tank, several Cyclones, several Marines. The Banshees are here, just shooting all the drones that are trying to go down the ramp to maybe start the second phase. What I see here is a master lock, so to say, and I don't see any way of MSRM being nimble enough to break it. And this will be a GG. Keep in mind, because when our work gets recognized by you, you know, when you enjoy your time here with us, this means the world to us. This brings sense to everything that we do, you know. So thank you for being here. Thank you for just enjoying the show. I also like how like intensive this format is. I mean, we had like 2-3 breaks during the stream, but basically that was it. In the other parts we have been jumping from game to game to game to game, and I just love that, because when there is a big downtime between games, oh my goodness, it's something that I really dislike. So having such type of dynamic here is great. It feels very nice. It feels right, so to say. So far, nothing is happening out of the ordinary for me to point it out. This is why I'm, you know, blabbering a little bit in the beginning of the games, maybe of the game. But the tempo will ramp up very quickly, I'm sure. Of course, this gives me the opportunity to talk a bit about movies with you guys. Did you see the second Gladiator movie? I saw it at the cinema with a friend, actually. I wasn't alone for a change, which was nice. And I liked it. I don't know if you have seen it, but it was cool. I went with zero expectations and I was happy. If I go with a lot of expectations, many times I'm super disappointed. The Reaper actually found the probe, which is great. Goblin is known for his proxies, so we see Sugar Bunny is actually scouting a lot during this game, in the early stages of it. And I think that rightly so. You really need to be on top of your scouting in order to realize what your opponent is going for. And here we see the super vanilla style of play out of Goblin. He's going for the Twilight Council, which will lead us to a Blink upgrade, 1000%. Oh my god, and even the Depth got here and delayed the second base. Ooh, this is a terrible situation. It is a terrible situation to say the least. As you can see, almost finished the second base is not being able to produce workers. It cannot turn into an orbital command, and behind that we already see like 9-10 pros here for Goblin collecting minerals. For Brockstar though, the second base completely empty. It's even unfinished. There is a Medivac being constructed here by Brockstar, so he's thinking about finding a counter-attack damage as soon as possible. Finally his SCV is going to finish the second base. But Goblin will even save his adepts, so basically all of this damage here that was done was for free. And this is a dream start for any proxy that are playing Terran. Still though, that doesn't mean that the Terran players cannot be dangerous, and we already see 2 mines being loaded in the Medivac. Which always have the potential to kill any mineral line. You know, this is basically at least in my opinion, this is the least amount of money you can spend to find the most amount of damage. Only 5 probes. Okay, it's decent. It's decent actually to kill 5 probes here. but it's not enough. Because even with those 5 probes killed, we see the big deficit that the Terran player is finding himself in. And oh my goodness, what is this streamline of attack here? A lot of Blink Stalkers are going across the map. And we have only 1 bunker and 1 tank here to defend. And keep in mind that these are Blink Stalkers, right? They can actually blink at the high ground. And then this bunker and this tank become obsolete. And yes, there is a second bunker here. There is a second tank here as well. But still, that doesn't mean that the Stalkers cannot find the surface area to damage the Terran without receiving damage themselves. Behind that, a third base is being started by Goblin. So he is both aggressing and expanding, which is a perfect play basically here by the Protoss player. This textbook Protoss versus Terran opener, and if any of you guys want to actually learn how to play in this matchup, this in my opinion is probably the best build to copy. Yes, the builds including Colossi are super important as well, but if you master the early Blinkstalker pressure with the Warp Prism, this is a build that can win you games all the way up to Grandmaster and even then. So yeah, just learn how to develop the Blink quickly, how to attack the Terran, and you might get results like a Goblin is getting here. Behind all of this pressure, he's transitioning to a robotics bay, he is adding the upgrades, he is adding more and more gates. We have workers mining here on the third base, which is great, and I think that we are in the final seconds of the game. A Raven will come down. I don't know for what though. Even this auto turret is not going to be enough. Nothing to close the distance with the Warp Prism with here, and yeah, this is it. 1-0 Goblin. There wasn't a second in this game that I didn't feel like Goblin is in control. Actually, quite the contrary. Perfect play here. Sugar Bunny had a good posture in the beginning of the game, and I believe that he had finished his second base earlier. I think that Sugar Bunny was going to actually come out at least better to the mid game, but that wasn't the case. And once Goblin got the advantage, that was it. So, Goblin leads 1-0 in this best of 5. Will he double his lead? We'll find out. And his opponent, Brockstar, he will be searching for that tie of the score. Goblin though, where is he going? He's going to take his probe here, but still, I believe that this probably is again to maybe show away at the SCV building the second base, but judging by the behavior of the probe here, maybe it's going to be for a proxy, and for a proxy it is a pylon planted down very near the base of the Terran. You see, the Terran base is here. It looks nice, it looks calm, but right on the edge there is presence of the opponent. So far though, in this tournament, Brockstar has been super on top of his scouting, at least early on. Always sending SCVs, always checking what the tech is. And now, he doesn't see a second base, he doesn't see a second gas, he sees only one pylon. And Brockstar, I believe, will now realize that he's getting rushed again. So many times he was rushed here. A gateway, a proxy gateway. Goblin, it seems like, because he was the first one to reach the finals, right? So he had to wait for maybe an hour and a half to play the finals. And it seems like he's in a rush to get this victory as quick as possible. This is why he's making such aggressive builds. Sugar Bunny is not going. Oh my goodness, he's not going to find it. Oh no. Oh no, this is terrible. When you scout a corner and you miss the building there, you rarely ever return to that corner to check again. Oh, did I miss this pixel? And now Brockstar is going to realize that he missed. And he sees the Stalker here. And how is he going to defend? He has no army. He has just one Marine here. Oh, and the second Stalker comes and Zealot comes here. Yeah, the Reaper is going to go to counter attack. That's great. But how much is going to... how much damage is going to be done here? Be dealt here, of course. A lot. 9 STVs going down and this is the GG. 3 minutes into the game, Goblin won. And he won convincingly. So 2-0 and we are already on a match point, and I feel like this match just started. Wow. Next map is going to be... Oh, let me see. Ley lines. But before we see the next map, let me just again show you that we are organizing another global event next year, again in Stara Zagora, guys. So you can see now on the screen the dates. From the 4th to the 7th of June, we are going to host again all the players that are interested enough to participate in the qualifiers, and I cannot wait. The first edition was great. The second, I think, is going to be even better. And of course you can see the 4 players that have already qualified for this tournament. Of course the winner from last year, the one and only, the current world champion, of course, Clem, is qualified for the Bellum Elite Stara Zagora 2025. We have the best Chinese player and the world champion from 2023, Mr. Li Peinan, or known also as Oliveira. Of course, right there up in the mix is one of the best Zergs on the planet, which is the 2021 world champion Rainer, and the top 4 contender from the last season, Showtime from Germany. I think we have a great roster of invited players for the next Bellum Elite, and I cannot wait for the tickets to become available. You know, we can start gathering and looking forward towards the event. Ley lines, potentially our last map, not only of the series but of the day. I really hope it's not the last map though. But let's see. Ley lines, ladies and gentlemen. In the bottom left side of the map, we have on match point the Protoss player from Croatia. This is Goblin, Mr. Leon Vrhovec, and his opponent from Bulgaria and Team Litri. Let's see the support in the chat for Mr. Boris Popov Brockstar. I can't hear you. Woo! Yeah, the fans are going crazy here. My goodness, and Goblin's props are going crazy as well. Not even a minute have passed, and we already have a proxy pylon on the way. Oh my god. After this tournament, Sugar Bunny is going to have nightmares of proxy locations. He's going to wake up in the middle of the night searching for proxies. Oh no! Oh no! Almost. Brockstar didn't see it. If he saw this prop here, this would have been tremendous information. But no, he just... Now it seems like this is a normal scout, you know, out of Goblin. And it isn't, because there is a proxy gateway. And it's the first gateway being proxied. So, last game... Last game we had a gateway here in the main as well. This game, that is not the case. Already one zealot is being produced. Oh, and the second command center here from Brockstar. Why? Because he doesn't have enough resource to build maybe a second, a factory or something like that. I don't know if the second command center is the best way to go here, but maybe it is, because as we see, behind that Goblin is having a second base of his own. So maybe he decided to kind of trick the Terran player here. Oh, I'm going to be super aggressive, here I am. But behind that he is making a second base. Well, I think this is a nice play though, because the logic here is very smart, right? You go to your opponent's side of the map. Good control here about with the Reaper from Brockstar. You go to the other side of the map, right? You scare the opponent that you're going to come all in at them, and behind that you're taking up, while your opponent doesn't have a second base. I think this is a pretty smart way to play. The Reaper though, he's here, and he will find some damage. Yes, there is a shield battery here, but at some point the shield battery is going to deplete its energy, and we don't have a single defensive gateway or something like that unit here. Finally, a recall has been made, and an adept is going to return to actually stop, or at least try to stop this Reaper. Great micro from both guys, but the adept, oh, the adept will find the Reaper, and actually the Reaper will fall down, and this is bad news for Brockstar, because every advantage he had on the other side of the map is basically now gone. He doesn't have any presence there. Still though, he has 5-6 Marines here that are going to try to protect the landing of the second base of the Terran. Keep in mind that before the Medivacs come into play, every bit of damage that is done on these Marines is final, is permanent. So this is very nice, but these are a lot of Marines, one Cyclone against just 3 Protoss units. Not enough Protoss here, and finally Brockstar will handle the proxy location and will establish a second base, something that we didn't see in the previous 2 games. Goblin though, already full saturation on base number 2, and he's going for the Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine and Blink. Will the Dark Shrine be of good use here? It will be of perfect use, because Goblin is now facing a mech Terran player. I didn't actually catch this, but Brockstar is going for mech. Which is interesting. Usually mech struggles against Protoss. After the current balance updates, I haven't seen PvT mech versus Protoss, right? But I imagine that it's still kind of weak against the Protoss units. Historically speaking, mech hasn't fared that well in the game against Protoss. It's not like StarCraft Brood War, where if you don't go to mech, you lose the game. Here it's way different. The mobility of the bio army is super important against the slow moving dead balls of the Protoss. But maybe this mech setup will allow Brockstar to feel safer at home. And we already see that the tanks are kind of doing okay against all of these stalkers. And yeah, once they siege up like that, the stalkers need to get back home. And Brockstar just only lost 3 SCVs, so again, this player is showing us how adaptive he can be in the course of a series. And this is why this player has been a champion here in Bulgaria, because he has the character to win and to adapt. And I think that if Brockstar starts to train a little bit more again, and I hope that this type of weekly tournaments bring him this motivation, I think that he is going to be a very scary competitor for basically everybody in the bracket. Of course, I'm curious to see players from different countries as well, so if you guys know any players, for example, from Romania or Serbia or, you know, all of the Balkan countries, do recommend them to participate in this tournament. Third base here online from Brockstar. Goblin will try to kind of delay it for a little bit, but with all of this firepower here that the Terran has, the delay is no more. Very nicely positioned observer though. It can see, basically it can see the full range of the tanks here, which is a great information to have, because now you can choose to attack for example from here, where the tanks aren't that many, or maybe from here. So this is why we see this War Prism here being constructed by Goblin. I think that with it, he will try to outmaneuver the slow, somewhat static defense of the Terran. Tanks are great, but they stand in one spot, right? They cannot maneuver between bases very easily. So if you find a weak spot, a blind spot in the defense of the Terran, then you can actually exploit it quite hardly. DDs are here. One of them starts to take several SCVs, and 3 of them will fall. How many though in total? Where is the second DT? Because maybe it got sniped very quickly. Okay, yeah, I see there is a detector here. Okay, 3 SCVs for 2 DTs. This is a good trade for the Terran. And you can see what the mech composition allows you to do. You give all the space to the Protoss to develop as much as he wants. And developing he is. You see already 5 bases here from the Protoss. So basically, when you're playing a mech with the Terran, you're telling to the Protoss, have as much freedom as you want to develop as well as you want, but you cannot breach me. And while you cannot basically breach me, I can develop myself into a good position. And this is what Brockstar is trying to do. He's giving the initiative to Goblin just so he can reach a comfortable spot himself. And this just goes to show you how uncomfortable playing against Goblin is exactly. And how much of a risk the Terran should take in order to defeat him. And we already see a 6th Nexus, guys. This is crazy. Before me 10 has passed, to have 6 bases for the Protoss, this is crazy. But this is what that freedom gives you, right? You know that the Terran isn't going to attack you anytime soon, then why not? And behind that, we are doing upgrades, we are adding Stargates, we are actually researching the +1 air weapons upgrade. So I think that when the first Stargate finishes, we are actually going to see a carrier transition. And the carrier transition is actually going to be something super scary, because as strong as tanks are on the ground, they cannot fire up, but carriers can fire down. And yeah, they are just too scary, in my opinion at least. But we'll have to see, because Thors and Vikings, they can actually manage against the carriers. but it might not even be carriers. We might see Tempest. I'm curious. I'm curious as to what the choice of Goblin will be here. I really prefer carriers, but some players prefer Tempest. Let's see. So far, nothing is being produced by the Stargates. We have the Observer Speed upgrade coming. I really want to see that upgrade more and more in the matches. It's a very nice one. We have the Shield upgrades actually coming. So maybe I'm smelling a bit of a transition to the full air army soon enough. Several Immortals though, they are coming here. No Warp Prism to reinforce them. But the Warp Prism is trying to actually get into the to backstab the Terran here. So with this army he's trying to pull away the Terran, and the Prism I believe is soon going to activate. 13 Zealots are being walked in somewhere, while base number Infinity is being taken here by the Protoss, who has 98 workers. What? Who does that? If you now cover up the races, I will say that Goblin is a Zerg player, but he isn't, and he has almost 100 supply worth of workers, and he has a substantial bank. As you see, he can warp in 16 Zealots while he is researching upgrades and while he is making 3 carriers at a time. One carrier costs around 600 resources, I believe. It's super expensive. Its build time is about a week and a half. And despite all that, Goblin seems unfazed by anything. How many Immortals here? 6 Immortals, million Zealots. They're rushing towards the Terran defenses here. The tanks are not sieged up actually, which is a bit of an opening here for Goblin. He took the maximum out of this engagement. He can lose the Zealots, he doesn't want to lose the Immortals. Basically this is the logic here. The Zealots are very replenishable. Immortals, they build very slowly. I wonder if the carriers are going to come soon, or will Goblin wait for like a critical mass of them before actually moving out. I don't know if he actually needs them, because as you can see, these Immortals, they're finding more than enough damage on their own. And yeah, he's just stacking up the carriers. Keep in mind that if the number of the carriers get to like 9 or 10 or 12 even, no force from the Terran can actually stop it. Here the Blue Flame Hellions do pretty well against Zealots, but once the Immortals close the distance, that's all she wrote for them. The Warp Prism here will try to set up an attack, will fail though, because the defenses of the Terran were positioned well. But still, look at the minimap, and look how much of it is actually red, and look how much of it is actually blue, you know? I'm even surprised that Goblin has waited for so long until the move out, but now he's here. He has the Mothership, he has the carriers, he has so many Immortals on the ground. How? What do you need to do in order to win this fight? The Vikings here, they are simply not enough. 5 Vikings won't do it, and I believe that, ladies and gentlemen, we have our first champion of the Balkan weekly circuit.